history of the Sturt and Norwood Football Club's rivalry can best be summed up in one match. It was the 1978 Grand Final. The Double Blues went to Football Park undeniable favourites to beat the Redlegs. Sturt led by 23 points at half-time and by 29 points with just a quarter to play. What a comeback, though, from the Redlegs as they snatched the lead halfway through the last term. The Double Blues scrambled back in front before one of the most talked-about decisions in SANFL history. Umpire Des Foster awarding Phil Gallagher a kick just 20 metres from goal with 3 minutes to play. He converts, and Norwood hangs on in a thriller to win by just a point. And it's a sore point for Sturt fans. And there'll be plenty of them on hand at Unley this afternoon as they seek to bury Norwood. For yet another historic clash between these two great rivals, we join our host, Neil Cross.
Well, hello everyone and welcome to the Unley Oval on a pretty grey day, and I can tell you the theme in AFL footy this week is heritage, and our theme today, Ben Knight's, is heritage as well, and it should be an important clash this afternoon for both clubs. Norwood has to take it seriously. They're at the foot of the ladder, but they've got something to prove.
Certainly right. Look, it's a really important game for both clubs here. Sturt are looking to cement that final three or the top two spot, and Norwood have to get off the bottom of the ladder to just grab something from this season.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Now, speaking of grabbing something from this afternoon, Mark Soderstrom's grabbed something from the wardrobe of the past, and have a look at the cuffs on it. Soders.
Well, thanks, Neil. Good afternoon, everyone. I feel like I've just raided an op shop down at Unley, but we'll push on with this outfit anyway. Over a century of tradition between these two clubs, the Sturt fans still reeling from that result in 1978, which you just saw moments ago. Today, they will be hoping for a different outcome, Neil.
Yeah, no doubt about that, and you would think that the Double Blues, well, they're going to finish top three, you would think, and they're a real chance for the finals again this year. If we look at the other fixtures this afternoon, you can see the importance of this match for Sturt. South and Central, well, Central's won their past 9 against South, but South has still a chance to get into the finals, no risk about that. Glenelg and the Eagles, of course, won 12 of their matches against Glenelg, their past 12 matches against Glenelg. And North and West, well, North are 4th, West is 7th. North can keep the double chance alive. West can pinch 5th if South Adelaide loses. So a lot of ramifications for the matches this afternoon, and indeed this match as well, as we just look at the table. And the matches are really crucial for Port's position in the 5 at the moment.
Certainly right. Look, West and South need a win, and Port are hoping they wouldn't have a win with their having the bye this week. North again need another win just to make sure they're almost cemented their final spot. And like we talked about today with Sturt, they have to push for a top 2 finish.
Sturt got the goal kickers there. We see Brant Chambers just about leading the way with Daniel Schell in front of him, and down the bottom Stephen White, who's come into some form after missing a few matches, about a month actually, with a broken thumb. So there's plenty for Sturt in terms of firepower up forward. Norwood have pretty much lacked that, but over the years the two clubs have been fairly close, and somewhat surprisingly you'd say, given the rivalry since 1901, Norwood's won quite a few more matches.
They certainly have. I mean, that would probably have something to do with the fact that Sturt had those down years through the 80s. But look, maybe it's Sturt that's going to come back and catch up on Norwood then, as we have a look at round 13 from earlier this year between Norwood and Sturt, where we saw Sturt come out with a pretty convincing win.
Yeah, but for the first half, there was nothing much in it, was there? I mean, Scotty Boulais kicking a goal here, and this is action from the first half, and really they were right in it. Daniel Pearce showing great skills. He'll be on show again this afternoon after featuring at the Under-18 Nationals.
Yeah, look, it'd be great to see some of these young kids out here today. Unfortunately, Heath Grundy's pulled out with illness. It would have been fantastic to see. We look at this ground here, that you don't often see the Adelaide Oval dug up as it was, and Les Burdett would have been shaking his boots as he watched that game in progress. And there's Heath Grundy there giving a handball out to James Gallagher. Look, Sturt that day, they did. They pulled away in that second half, and for such a large victory, I mean, Norwood would have felt really, really poor after that game, having let Sturt have such a large victory in those trying conditions.
Yeah, the final scorer, Stephen White, kicking just the easiest of goals there, with Norwood just being caught unawares at the back. The final score there, 16-13, 109, plays 2-5, 17. Very comfortable victory for Sturt, and that's pretty much been the story this season and in their past 3 clashes we see there. We have to go back to round 8 on May 19 last year to see Norwood beating Sturt by 31. But since then, the Double Blues have had all the answers.
They certainly have. I mean, Sturt have won 8 out of their past 10 encounters as well. And so, therefore, they really have had the wood over Norwood in the past few years.
And Soda's joining us again in that marvellous jacket that wouldn't be out of place at Augusta at the Masters. Soda's certainly Sturt has some injury problems this afternoon.
Well, they have. It's a very long list at the moment. And this week, Andrew Whiteman and Michael Curtis, who are two premiership players, they joined that list with injuries. But some consolation for the Blues is the return of Brett Howman. He's a centre-half back and played state football, so he'll be welcome to the defence, Neil.
Certainly Brett Howman's had his problems with injury this season. He's had some hamstring or back-related hamstring worries as we look at the lineup, and certainly he's central to the lineup, sitting at centre-half back.
Yeah, we have a look there. Sturt are quite strong over the entire ground. You talked about their couple of really strong marking targets up forward in White and Chambers. They've got a strong defence, and their on-ballers get a lot of the football. They use the handball a hell of a lot. They, as opposed to Norwood, who are a real kicking team, Norwood actually #1 in possessions, Sturt #3 in possessions, which is something surprising now.
We'll point out that Howman is actually at fullback according to the named side. So does what's happening with Norwood, because they've had injuries as well.
Yeah, they have, and Chris Massey received his marching orders from Neil Craig during the week, and no doubt Gary McIntosh will be happy to throw a Redlegs jumper his way today. The other change is a late one, Lee Blake coming into the side for Heath Grundy, who has the flu.
Thanks for that as we look at the Norwood side coming onto the ground, and Jonathan Robrin, one of the players there, playing game number 97 this afternoon.
Yeah, there's a couple of guys, Jonathan Robrin and Matthew Dawes, coming up close to their 100th game. We have a look there. I mean, it's just been a case of too few players really putting in over, being a consistent contributors throughout the season. Guys like Matthew Dawes, who we mentioned, Brett James, as always, Stuart Bowen and Tim Hazel come in and out. But apart from that, there really haven't been a lot of consistent contributors.
Here's Gary McIntosh obviously paying the price for the inconsistency of his side as we just look at the toss taking place there. Ben Nelson electing to kick to right of screen for the Double Blues. I'm not sure if that's going to make much of a difference, but you will notice that Ben Nelson has a black armband on, as do the rest of his teammates, and so does just explain what that's about.
Well, the armbands are there to recognise the great Gordon Grassy Green, the hero of the 1932 Premiership for the Blues, where he did kick 9 goals. Gordon passed away during the week, 95 years of age, a real character and legend around the club, and will be sorely missed, and today's game is dedicated to him, Neil.
So does his Grassy Green missing his first shot at goal and then kicking 9 to finish the day with a pretty handy total. So does also the coin toss, Sturt kicking to right of screen, some advantage.
Yeah, good choice by the skipper, Ben Nelson. The breeze is very strong, probably worth 2 or 3 goals. The ground is, well, almost as disgraceful as the jacket I've got on. So bad that Sturt didn't train here during the week on most nights. Only Thursday night they did have a run there. So the club looking to preserve it as much as possible. But it's going to be very, very ordinary, and we are expecting some showers throughout the day.
Have to ask, so is he going to keep the jacket for the rest of the day?
Sorry, Neil?
Are you going to keep the jacket for the rest of the day?
There's no chance that I'm going to keep this on. In fact, I'm going to go and return it back to the op shop.
OK. Ready for the start of the game. Here's Michael Maney.
Tiger Woods will be looking for that jacket. Round 18 of SANFL football. Umpires Carey, Ralston and Fox. Can Norwood get up, the massive underdog in this game? Their last win at Unley was round 19 at 1983. The odds stacked against them. Up goes Oliver. Calabrese will get a free kick for over the shoulder. There's that mud patch. Calabrese just wants to give it off to the skipper in James. James kicks it long inside 50, and a good lead. Good mark by Hazel, who has been quite outstanding this year for the Redlegs. On the Adelaide Crows list, Tim Hazel. Former Tasmanian, a couple of Tasmanians playing in the side today. Andrew Hill, a former Bernie Docker, playing at centre-half forward, number 16. Tim Hazel for an early goal against the breeze from 45. Good-looking kick. It's just drifted away across the face for one behind. But Norwood are on the board. A good sign for them. They have registered just the one behind. Tim Hazel with hands up in the air. Be disappointed about that. And looks like we might have a blood rule very early. And just trying to pick up who the player is. Looks like it's Howman. So Howman's copped one in the nose by the looks of things. And he's got a bit of blood splattered all over there. So Burton, the man to go onto the ground for the Double Blues.
Just waiting for Burton to take up his position before the umpires allow play to continue, and narrow away. Should kick that one into the middle, into the centre square at least, but it looked like it was over the line when it happened. Sheedy with a quick disposal, only went about 2.5 yards, and Bowen with the tackle. Umpire will come in. Just another look at how it may have happened to Howman. Just his own player coming the other way, and Timmy Weatherall cleaned him up. Be having words after the game, you'd think. Ball inside 50. Beveridge goes to ground. Umpire comes in, says, you were trying, that's good enough. Just another look at that kick out too. Very interesting. Looked to me like he was well over. I think he was.
I think he was.
You don't get 5-yard penalties down ground these days. So I don't know. He got away with one perhaps. Here's Sturt from the back. As you see, that's the boggiest part of the ground, and quickly the numbers will become hard to see as Scott Toms gets out a hand pass. It comes to the captain eventually. That's Scott Toms, believe it or not. Back into the middle of the ground. And Sturt breaking away. Into goal. A chance for the opening score. No worries at all. Roberts Thompson with the goal from 40 metres out. And that's what Sturt can do to you with a quick foray forward. And their first entry inside 50. And a goal to Roberts Thompson.
That's a great start by Sturt. I mean, Norwood looked good early getting that mark, and Tim Hazel having that shot on goal. That's a lovely goal, lovely running goal, and that will lift the confidence of not only Roberts Thompson but also his Sturt teammates.
I'll tell you what, it's pretty muddy on the outer side. There's Clark Roberts Thompson. Michael Code looked a little bit like Al Jolson as he hit the deck in the mud patch down there. We didn't catch a glimpse of it. He is covered in mud at centre half back for the Double Blues. 5 points the difference. Sturt with the early one. Roberts Thompson, who's got a bag of 5 under his belt this year. Cooper got it to Sheedy. Another inside 50 coming up for the Double Blues. Chambers tried to get it to Richardson. Ball booted off the ground. It looked like Vassell. Long kick forward. Inside 50. Bowen can't take the mark. Ball thumped away. Chance for the speedsters. Bratton. Good composure. Got a free kick. Advantage rule paid. It went to Dawes. His kick didn't really advantage the Redlegs. And Smith, who's just been recently added to the Adelaide Crows senior squad, took the mark and got it to Scott Toms at half back in another very muddy area of Unley Oval. Doesn't take the water too well, this ground. And that's a horrible kick from Matthew Scott Toms. And his target was Brant Chambers, and he couldn't get there. And there's Al. Al Jolson Code, they call him.
Isn't that amazing?
Looking for a microphone. Away goes Robbie Neal for the legs. Kick to a packed situation. Scott Toms at the foot of it. Dawes. Bratton got it away to Bartamucci. Bartamucci's good kick has just missed the target. Ball nearly got stuck in the mud, and Hazel couldn't get on the end of it. Boundary throw in. Sturt bench sodas.
Yeah, Brett Howman's come off the ground, so he's getting patched up. Simon Feast, who has a bit of an injury cloud over him with the groin, and debutant Adam Thompson, who represented South Australia in the recent Under-18 Championships.
Hill and Oliver go for it. Comes Sturt's way. Beveridge out of defence down the middle of the ground. Like to see that. Down the centre half forward. Chambers takes front position. Ball knocked away. Chambers with the recovery. Tackle without the ball perhaps. Umpire call play on. Beveridge slides in. So does Norwood players. Ball ace trapped. And just getting a stray elbow in there. We'll get a ball up.
I think he's just trying to get his arm free there, Neil.
Yes, yeah, sorry about that. I'm sure that's what he said too to Brant Chambers, having connected.
She's been nice, quick to jump to the defence of your ex-teammates, aren't you? Hang on.
Another ball up.
This is something different, hey, Satters?
That's it. And on the bench for Norwood, John O'Robin, Scott Carslake, and also Lee Blake, the late inclusion.
A little bit of ring-a-rosy out there between the ruckman. Calabrese getting the better of it. Nice little tap down. And finally, well emerged, or well taken out of the pack by Chambers. Got it off the Weatherall, off the left foot, inside 50. From behind White, the punch came as well from Daniels. To the front was Clun. 45 metres out. Adam Clun shows the way.
Great finish. Look, Sturt just had the numbers there at that forward contest. Stephen Daniels, it's obvious that Stephen Daniels, anytime he goes up, he's going to give the big fist. He's going to punch it away. You see the punch come in there. And then Sturt had 2 or 3 of their smalls. Stewart, no, it's not Stewart, sorry, Scott Borlace there caught behind. And a great start here from Sturt with those first 2 goals.
Lovely kick by Adam Clun. They have looked dangerous going inside 50. They've gone in 4-3. They've come up with a couple of goals. Calabrese in ruck for the legs. It's out to 11 points. Oliver Goodleap work, Nitschke. Just ducked his head. Umpire, how does he read it? He'll ball it up. No chance of a bounce in there. Be a game umpire, Ben, to bounce it in that lot.
Yeah, I think he'll throw it up. Safe bet.
Good call.
Oh, didn't throw it up very high either.
It up too far. It fell into the lap of Bratton. Bratton's left footer is not too bad. Lewis couldn't take it. And it's all locked up again between half forward and the centre square. Ball ace. Can't get through. He'll be suited to the conditions today, Scotty Ball Ace. You like this, where the ball's going to spend most of his time on the ground. Oh, no doubt. The smalls of both teams here, this is really their football. It's going to be gluggy. It's going to be bounces after bounces, and that's their football, and it's nice and tight and close. Sheedy, Beveridge, Jarvis, out to Weatherall. So that handball that Sturt have built on over the years serves them well. Weatherall's kick. The man who kicked the first goal of the match in Clark Roberts-Thompson. He's immediately away. The kick's looking for White and/or Chambers. Neil did well, knocked it to ground. Chambers did okay. Lost a footy. So too Calabrese. Clements ducked the head. Clun just puts his arm in the air. It's been a little bit too easy of late, some of those decisions, but the SANFL umpires are right on the ball. They won't be fooled. Some of the time, at least. Calabrese can't get the knock away. Kick smothered. Weatherall just check sides through for one behind. Had the right idea, Tim Weatherall. Just couldn't get enough check on the check side. Yeah, he did. Look, it's interesting. You talked before about the Sturt handball, and they're actually ranked number 9 in kicks and number 1 in handballs, but they're ranked 3 overall in possession. So that just shows how dominant they are, or how much they just love to give the handball. And maybe that will come back to bite them today with these gluggy, muddy conditions, where it might not be as open and free-flowing.
Massey taking the ground there in that marking contest. Very interesting. Hatful was the man came through there, number 24, with a hip and shoulder. And that man, Brant Chambers, a long way from goal. He's Sturt's leading goal kicker this season with 40. Ball thrown in. Massey came up through and got it to the front. Ball ace, 3-on-1. Got the ball forward for Norwood. Hand pass was awkward and eventually almost over the line. No, not quite. Lewis with the foot on the ball. On debut this afternoon. Just earlier today, an indication, if you're squeamish, don't look at this, of what can happen in these conditions, in these muddy conditions. Robert Young, one of the reserves players, a young player up from the 19s, badly damaging his ankle, perhaps dislocated, perhaps badly broken as well in the reserves clash, which was won by the Double Blues. And they break to the far side. Pearce, good skills, Sturt's away, through handball in the middle. Getting out of the mud and then kicking along Beveridge. The lead from White. Good mark from Stephen White. He's got players inside 50 loose, but not for long. Nelson was one of them out to his left, and he's decided to go back and have a shot. And Massey, the player Chris Massey, coming off the ground, Sotis?
Yeah, he's limping, favouring his left leg. Looks to be in a lot of trouble, so we'll check on him in a moment. He has come off, and coming onto the ground to replace him is Lee Blake. And your eyes are not deceiving you. Michael Coates changed jumpers from 18 to 53.
Stephen White, well, his first of the afternoon, his 23rd of the season. The Double Blues are off to somewhat of a flyer.
Yeah, we have a look at the highlight coming through the middle there. It's a lovely kick out in front of Stephen White. Stephen White traditionally has given Stephen Daniels a little bit of trouble. See Daniels there just stumbling, not being able to get enough pressure on the body there of Stephen White. It's a big body to get around and not able to get that fist that Stephen Daniels has known so well for. And a lovely finish by Stephen White. His first of the afternoon, and perhaps a sign of things to come with Sturt taking off to a 3-goal lead. Using the breeze pretty well. Ruckman just go at each other. No one can get out of there. That's Lewis, number 55 for Norwood. Seems to pretty aggressive youngster. Umpire will do the right thing and have a bounce here, but look at it. It's umpire Ralston, obviously. Knocked away. Weatherall. Back to Jarvis. Through the heavy traffic. Could have done better with the kick. Bratton just knocked it to Pearce. Pearce. His kick looking for White, but Daniels got back. Former Port Adelaide power defender. Now, did he play on over the line? Thought he might have done. Long kick. Ball ace takes the mark. Got stuck in the mud over there. Handball over the top. This is young Blake. Blake kicks to the lead there of Bound, but Code takes the mark. Good story, Lee Blake.
suffering from leukemia last year, and he's a brilliant story back into the Norwood side, his debut, and that is a tremendous story.
It's an amazing effort by a guy who's just so determined, and I know having a bit to do with him last year. It's just fantastic to see him back now and playing league footy, and hopefully right in the clear.
To see he can get some kicks. Richardson, he'll be hoping some kicks around the body, just misses to the near side. He is a dangerous presence up there. It'll suit him today. And let's have a look at the way Chris Massey injured himself.
Got a good cork there, I think. I think he got the knee right to the left quad. I think that might be the problem. It's good.
Having said that, it was his foot being treated on the boundary line, it looked like.
Was it?
Yeah, never mind.
Done well.
Bound, puts his body in front, could have been paid the mark, play on. Norwood get the ball anyway through Hazel. That's a bomb, designed to bring rain. You wouldn't want that at Unley today because the mud is already bad enough. Clements did well, toe poked it further forward, follows up again. Might end up with this ball, no. Well done by the young man making his debut, Ryan Lewis. Got it inside 50. Smith in front, took his player away from the ball and was rewarded in the end with a free kick. Smith very close to making his debut, having been elevated from the rookie list. Close to making his debut for Adelaide in the AFL, is in the boggiest, muddiest pocket. Well, maybe it's debatable because I'll tell you what, there's a couple of boggy, muddy pockets out there. Kicks down outside the Sturt defensive area, but Norwood will go in again through Bratton. High kick coming from the side. No, Beveridge takes the mark. And Bartamucci was coming from the side to do the pressuring, as we see there. Interesting, wearing two jumpers, Beveridge. He is originally from Tasmania. You'd think he wouldn't be worried by the cold.
Doesn't get cold over there.
Sturt down towards centre wing. Bratton has done well early for Norwood. Hand pass was good. James can open up the play. Hand passing to the far side of the ground. Bowden goes inside 50 with a kick. Stretch from Bowen. Umpire call play on again. Twice he's been unlucky in the last couple of minutes. That's play on as well. Hand pass over the top comes to Bartamucci on the left leg from 20 metres. Butchers the opportunity.
And I'd probably put that down to having to kick out of an ankle of mud, or ankle deep mud. That's probably what happened there. Bartamucci just, look, he has to hit those ones, and normally he would. He loves a goal, and normally he'd kick that, but unfortunately for Norwood, not the case in that respect.
Yes, very muddy. Code, who's been prominent, couldn't take the mark. Clun, quick hands, missed Code. Nelson, with a lot of strength, held onto the ball for a long time. How will the umpire view it? Umpire Ralston says, you held on too long, Ben Nelson. A couple of chances in that bit of play. It's a pretty tough rule. James, good kick, finds Hill. Andrew Hill, one of the recruits at the start of the year, has missed a lot of time with injury this year. And I mentioned earlier, played a lot of his junior football with the Burnie Dockers in Tasmania on the northwest coast. And spent a bit of time at Collingwood. Now with the Redlegs.
Yeah, look, if he can keep his body sort of in one piece and provide a really strong marking target, that's exactly what Norwood need, because they just haven't had anyone like that this year. They haven't had a forward, apart from Robbie Neal, who's also been used over the whole ground.
And he may be doing a bit of work during the week on the uprights. I must kick straight. Bad kick.
We heard Sutters talk about the wind being a big advantage going to the right of screen, but also that's the right end of the ground is much cleaner and nowhere near as muddy. So that's a double advantage, I guess, going to the right of screen.
Jarvis, big kick in. Great mark in the middle of the pack, pulled down there by Smith. Spring it to this side of the ground. Oh, it's Thompson. Head over the ball. Chambers. Worked the ball in tight pretty well, Sturt. Finally get it free. Well done. Up inside 50 with a long kick coming in from Burton. Punch there from Daniels to the front. Cooper didn't get a hand on the ball. Actually was pushed across by the man there in Dawes, is it? No, it wasn't Dawes. It was
it Lee Blake?
Lee Blake. Yeah. Thanks for that, Ben. Ball back in. You see, pretty short throw in. Here's Blake. Ball to ground again. Just the fumble at the wrong time by Vassell. Cooper, well used to these conditions, played 5 or 6 seasons up in the hills, in the Adelaide Hills. I don't think there's ever a day when you don't play in mud.
No, and you'll have a good time trying to pick the boys down there back there. We've got Vassell, Blake and Nitschke, all the nice bit of colour on the hair.
Dawes off the left leg to Bratton. That's a mark, just the 15. Bratton looks up and across the ground. He's got a player in a little bit of space. James would be disappointed with the delivery. Norwood, they retain control. Dawes, now Bratton. Bratton has further players afield in Dawes. Dawes' kick, just astray. Good diving mark taken there by Code.
Smith, just short kick. Now that ball will plug. A lot of mud. Come out of that one nice and clean. Matthew Scott Toms. No one will come out of that with a clean jumper. And let's have a look at Code. Pay that mark. Lovely. Michael Code. There it ball plugs off the ground. Here's ball ace. Off a step, Hill playing in front, just read it best, and the kick just died, but Hill was there to take the chest mark. And let's see whether he learns from his first kick. It was a real shank off the side of the boot.
Yeah, it certainly was. I mean, I haven't actually seen a lot of this guy. He wasn't at Norwood last year, and I know that Norwood were hoping for big things from him, and this is exactly why, because he can be a marking target and a key forward, which Norwood have, like I mentioned before, lacked throughout the last couple of seasons.
He's had an elbow injury, and boy, oh boy, from a player that has been on an AFL list, you've really got to wonder about that.
1 goal 6 last week.
Wow, it's a disappointing loss, or miss, I should say. A disappointing loss of the 6 points that went out the pounds in the full.
He should have probably kicked the other one.
He might be a good chance at centre-half back, Hill, I think.
I don't think you get a game anywhere if you're going to kick like that. So.
I don't know. There's a couple of AFL clubs last night.
Oh, yes. The sensational profile of AFL footy. Taken by Robran, who got it to James. James loads it up. Who can take a mark? No one. Ball ace. Oh, I thought he threw it to Hazel. Hazel got it away to Bound. Can he kick a goal? Kicks to the hot spot. Mark. Not taken. Bartamucci missed the goal earlier. Just gives it off. Hill. He can kick him from a metre out. No problem at all. And the legs get there first.
I don't know if you saw it, Michael. I think the message went straight out to him. Stand on the boundary line and get, stand on the goal line and only get them there. I think that's what they said to him. No, I'm only kidding, but look, that's great to see him actually finish that off. Bartamucci, I thought, should have given the handball back. Got fantastic footage from goal umpire Cam. We see Andrew Hill put that one through, making no mistake from 1 or 2 metres, like he had previously from, what, 15 metres out. Looks a bit tight. Could be a quad or hamstring injury. I'm not, no physio, as I showed before.
It's your mummy's.
And she's on the bench today, I think.
Well, ruled against Robran for jumping into Oliver. So Oliver takes the free kick from the centre, drives it long for Sturt from the side. Nice mark by Blake coming in. Blake then, his kick was inaccurate. That's allowed Sturt to take possession. Here's Sheedy, the 1-2. Back he goes towards Pearce. Can he handle it? Pearce, back to Sheedy. Sheedy from outside 50. Bursts 5 metres and then kicks long and accurately. Great goal by Jade Sheedy.
What a fantastic finish again. Jade Sheedy showing skills from outside 50. And Sturt, look, it damages you as a team like Norwood when they've had a couple of shots at goal, reasonably easy shots. They haven't finished off. You see Sheedy there outside 50, putting it up, letting the breeze take it the extra 5 or 10 metres. And that is very, very depressing as a backman, seeing those go over your head when the footy's been down the forward line for a fair period of the quarter.
Something else that is depressing for Norwood, Chris Massey has just gone down into the rooms. He's still limping. His foot's in a lot of problem just on the medial part of the foot, so that could be it for him for today, and bad news for the Crows too.
Certainly is. Norwood go forward. Ball aces handball, chopped off, taken by Code. Richardson, good effort to try and trap it. Ball just booted off the ground. That was Vassell. Over the top, ball ace. Short kick to Bound. So Norwood have been pretty good in their first quarters. They've let themselves down with their kicking. Looking for Bartamucci, who takes the mark. Looking at my notes here, the Redlegs have led 7 times at quarter time this year. They've just won the 3 games. Bartamucci covered in mud. Just got enough of this, just pushed off Matthew Scott-Toms, who couldn't quite hold him out. And Bartamucci with a fair bit of Unley mud caked all over the jumper, legs splattering on the face. Boy, do the legs need this kick. Didn't make the most of it. And it is pretty boggy over there, you've got to say, and the ball's starting to get a tad bit heavy. Feast. Bound. Feast dives on the football. Cleanest player out there. All done by Nelson. Nelson's long kick to the wing. Bowen has given away a free kick for holding. It'll go to Joel Patfull, who we saw a season or two ago take a magnificent specky at the parade for the highlights of the year. Working at half back. Good kick. Bound. Awkward. Couldn't take it. Bratton couldn't pick it up. Roberts Thompson somehow got it to Nelson. Nelson's going to be caught by Robran and penalised. Gee, that was hot.
Yeah, it was. Look, he had the time to get rid of it. He tried to take on the player, and I think on a couple of occasions now, Ben Nelson's just been a little bit slow with getting rid of the football.
Robran's kick just floating through the air, and it's heading towards that mud patch. Now it's there. Now it'll be hard to pick up. Smith did well. Quick hand pass out. Pearce, high, outside 50, too wide. Unley's not a big ground, and certainly not when you kick it that wide.
He went in your backyard, Neil.
Bartamucci, clever, around the corner. Take and break, inside 50 from Bowen. That looked like it might have been in the back. Nelson takes his time again. Not the most effective, or not the greatest of hand passes, at least. It was effective. Clung from the back, off the right boot, down towards centre wing. Patfull did well, got to the front. Numbers there favoured the double blues. Burton rode the bump and then gave a hand pass. And still they're going. Finally, Patfull got a hand pass out. Blake to Dawes, dropped it. Blake backed him up. It's not bad football, it's just they just can't finish their skills. And it is pressure football. Gary McIntosh, that's that partial head that you can see there now on the phone. It's not a bad start by Norwood, given they're at the bottom of the table. They're in this hunt, no doubt about that. Here's James, by far their biggest possession winner this season. Off he goes, and kicked downfield by Bowden, but astray. And Sturt will have another opportunity. Look at the numbers on the far side. They've got three of them loose. One of them's Pearce. Pearce off the left foot can go over the top. He does. Well done. Burton takes his time. Interesting, Weatherald off the ground and limping badly. We'll get a report from Sodas in a minute as Sturt go inside their forward 50 again. Chambers, loose hand pass. Fresh air shot with a kick. And umpire will come in and we'll get a ball up. Sodas. Oh, bit of happening out there. Sodas.
Yes, Weatherall did damage his knee in that clash with Clements on the wing just moments ago, and he's been taken straight down to the rooms, clutching the left knee, so a big blow for Sturt.
Yes, indeed. Richardson turns the ball around the corner. White just led his man to the ball. Chest mark, 25 metres out. Stephen White should convert from here, you'd think. As was pointed out, not much mud at this end of the ground. Certainly the tide, I would think, going to the other end of the Unley Oval.
Is that the drainage you're talking about there, Neil? The tide, fair enough. Stephen White will make Norwood pay here, and Stephen Daniels again just missed out in front. And,
White with his second of the afternoon, comfortably home and over the back into the grass court tennis there. No tennis being played this afternoon. She's a bit cool at the Unley Oval.
So Stephen Daniels doing well when the ball comes in long and high reasonably slowly, but you get that quick kick in. Just been beaten a couple of times by Stephen White, who's managed to put a couple of metres on him and finish off with the goals.
A couple of goals now to the big man, Stephen White. 32 plays 9. Ruckman can't get a clear tap away. Heading for second bounce. Fire comes in. There's Brett Howman with the tape on the nose. He's had a rotten go this year, Brett Howman. Hamstring injuries. Real problems. Sheedy's kick, touched off the boot. No one can take the mark. Richardson gets a free kick. That's against Vassell for a push. Well, the youngsters in this Norwood side. Long kick by Richardson out in front of White. Daniels did okay. Knocked it away. Chance for Blake. In goes Feast. Handball looking for Chambers. They dive on the footy. There's young Thompson in a headlock there. And this is what happened to Tim Weatherall. Oh, they got just bent the old ankle back. A full bit of body weight on top of the ankle, and that hurts. Umpire bounces it. Burton took it. Tried to grab it out of the ruck. And the umpire said that was fair enough. It's quarter time at Unley Oval in the bog. Some sections of the ground okay, a lot of it terrible. Sturt 5-2, 32 at quarter time. Lead the Norwood Redlegs 1-3-9. How have you seen it so far, Ben Knights?
Yes, well, 23-point lead, and I guess the way that Sturt have gone into their forward line, they've gone in quickly, they've gone in long, and that's hurts Norwood. Norwood Smalls, look, they've been good. The young guys have been good. They've been getting at the football. Going forward, though, Norwood have missed a couple of golden opportunities, especially with Andrew Hill up forward and Bartamucci not making the distance from 15, 20 metres out. I mean, that's just because of the fact it is such a glue pot up there. But, look, it's been a pretty good quarter of football.
Yes, and Sturt, as you say, taking their opportunities, no doubt about that. Clark Roberts-Thompson bursting onto the ball there. Read it best off the pack. And the easiest of goals to open the scoring for the Double Blues.
See Stephen Daniels coming over the top there like he has done on a number of occasions. A couple of times being caught out by Stephen White, but again, a lovely finish from Sturt running through their 50.
And their ability through the middle of the ground, even in these conditions, to string some hand passes together has been impressive.
It's really been a key, hasn't it? I mean, it's been a key of their football all year. But the ability to handball, and in these conditions where there's a fair bit of mud, it's reasonably tricky, there's a bit of wind around. Obviously the handball is sometimes a good way to go, but look, in wet, muddy conditions, Sturt still can pull the handball off and use it well.
And this is well done by Bartamucci to get the ball back across for the goal. But the test of the match surely will be when Sturt has to deal with those muddy conditions when they kick to the left of the screen in this quarter.
It'll be very interesting to see this quarter if Norwood, with their reasonably clean movement into the forward line and someone up there in Hill actually presenting and making a good target, bound across centre half forwards, competed well so far as well, and their Smalls have been resting up there off the ball in the Bartamucci and the Matthew Dawes. They've done well at the foot of the ball, so when they do get out of that mud pit and up the other end of the right end of screen, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
It's Sturt 5-2, 32 to 1-3-9, and multiple goal kickers for Sturt there, and White individually has 2, and Andrew Hill, as we said, he's had 3 shots at goal for 1 goal, 1 behind and 1 out in the full.
Yeah, that's right. And you see Sturt there pulling ahead with the handballs, as would be expected. They're up pretty even with their kicks, whereas Norwood, on the other hand, are a lot more a kicking side. And you see inside 50s reasonably even. So that shows that mud is making a fair difference down there, and just the way that maybe Norwood are using the ball in with their disposal into the forward 50 has made a bit of a difference.
Well, time now for our weekly, well, he missed last week, but the weekly view of the game from Michael Maney. Maney's view this week looking at the coaching staff at Norwood again.
Thanks, Neil. Well, a few weeks ago, we had a look at which coaches in the SANFL were under the pump. One of them was Gary McIntosh, and it's well documented now that Macca won't see it past this season as the Redleg boss. The other coach that was really under pressure was David Noble from Glenelg. Now, they got a win in round 13 over North Adelaide. Then they had the bye, then crashed to their worst defeat in history. David Noble still has his job. Well, I got some first-hand look at Gary McIntosh in Tasmania. Took a good side to a grand final. The next year lost 31 senior players off the list and still got them into the grand final. And he won't coach Norwood. Well, I can't quite understand that. I'd like to ask the Norwood hierarchy exactly what do you have to do. Maybe he's put too much faith in young players at the parade. Well, today's game, a tough one, up against Sturt, their traditional rival. I don't think they can do it for Macca today. For my money, it'll be Sturt. That's my view. I'm Michael Maney.
And look, I would say that he is a genius because that was pre-recorded, so that was Michael's view before the game. But look, Sturt have been good this afternoon. But as we said, the interesting thing will be how they cope with the mud in the second quarter.
Yeah, it will. I mean, it's been a really good battle, especially on ball out of the centre square. It's just the difference has been when going to the forward lines of both teams.
Yes, and so does, what have we got to report from downstairs at the huddles?
Well, a solid start by the Double Blues, led by Stephen White. Brenton Phillips is wrapped with his work and has said to the boys, just look for Big Stephen. So they're going to open up the forward line and give him a run of that particular area. Brett Howman will come back on the ground, and he's had his nose patched up. He was wearing number 35. He'll now wear number 64. The message from Brenton Phillips was, this time last week we had Glenelg in a similar position, but we let them back in. Let's not do the same thing with Norwood.
Thanks for that, Sodas. And now we'll just have a quick look at this week's winner. Firstly, Sue Garland of Semaphore Park, this week's winner in our abc.net.au/SA footy tipping. Congratulations, Sue. You'll win tickets to the SANFL. Not many rounds to go before the finals, of course. And remembering Kathy Wieskamp, well, she's streaking home.
She is. She's got a pretty big lead now, almost a round lead. So you'd almost say that she's pretty safe.
Yeah, you would think so. And on to our ABC Sports tipsters. I'm not quite safe, but I've done all right.
Oh, come on, Neil. 4. If that was Kathy Wieskamp, you'd say she is home and hose. So.
No, take it one tip at a time. That's the most important thing.
With only 4 games per round, Neil, I think you're pretty safe. So well done. But we'll see. Surprisingly,
some others we just catch a glimpse of some of the rain that's just beginning to fall, and that'll make Mark Soderstrom happy on the boundary. But surprisingly, a lot of spectators willing to go out there in the mud and just see what was said at quarter time. We're just about ready for the start of the second term, and here's Michael May.
Thanks, Neil. You're not safe in that tipping department. I tell you what, we are going to come home with a wet sail, all us behind you. We have you in our sights. Norwood have got Sturt in their sights. They trail by 23 points. And Sturt have won 8 of the last 10 against the Redlegs. Second quarter of round 18 SANFL footy. Oliver, who's been leaping well, sharked by ball ace. An early inside 50 to the Redlegs, bounds the target. Code drifted across. Smith, just a high kick. Oliver can't get through, and I thought he might have caught one high there, the red leg in James, and the skipper's got a free kick over the shoulder. That range just tailed off a little bit at the moment. James, short kick to Robran, who ran forward, and with that breeze behind him, he should be able to score from here. And Robran is a very skilled big man. You would have seen him firsthand, Ben Knights. He should get the journey and also should kick the goal.
Well, certainly he's another player with a fair bit of AFL experience as well, playing at both Hawthorn and Essendon. And coming back here, look, you know, he's made a real big impact at Norwood, coming back and adding some experience around the club. He's a gentle giant of a guy, and he certainly made the carry in this goal. It's just a question of accuracy.
In his 97th game, we give him a big rap, and he did exactly what we thought he would do, let us down.
Well, that is disappointing again. Norwood, though, going forward, getting a bit of space, and that's encouraging for the Redlegs.
What isn't encouraging is their kicking for goal so far. Hasn't been fantastic, has it? Ball to the front of the pack. We'll get another bounce down here as Scott Tom's taken to ground. So, does you enjoying the weather?
I am, Neil. The rain has just started to fall, and I'm supporting the tartan check today, so it's looking very nice. But the boys are handling the conditions pretty well. Just a report from Norwood. Andrew Hill has a thigh strain, but he's still out there. Chris Massey has bruised his toe joint and could come back on the ground.
Bruised toe joint. Would be a first. I haven't heard of that one before. Norwood will go forward through Brett James. Inside 50, bad kick. Intercepted by Oliver. Releases Beveridge through the middle of the ground, uses his pace. Forward hand pass just a little too severe for Roberts Thompson, and now Norwood come back the other way. Here's Robran. Perhaps should have taken a longer option than that one. Clements bursting through, and now Sturt get another opportunity to rebound. Nelson with the 1-2, working hard, gets the 1-2 twice. Nelson, forward hand pass, breaking inside 50, and the Double Blues astray with that kick, and it was Bowen out there on the far side of the ground. In fact, Burton, I should say, on the far side of the ground.
The 1-2 twice, Neil. Is that the 1-2-3?
Goal umpire Cam.
All over the shop.
Blown a hat. Let's get the hat technician down there. There he is.
Oh,
give us a wave. Thank goodness it's back. 23 points the difference. Sturt into attack slightly. Cooper just hovering over the ball. Will have to knock it out. Did he make a real aggressive attempt to knock it out? I don't think he did, but the umpire will call for it.
That was a very good tackle by Luke Nishke there, pinning one arm, holding it back so he couldn't, the Sturt player there couldn't quite see, but couldn't get rid of the football and kept the Sturt team going.
Here's Dawes. Cuts through the middle of Unley Oval. Hazel, that's a strong mark out in front of Michael Code in the number 53. Tim Hazel, former Hawk, on the AFL list with Hawthorn. This is just a strong mark. Good kick by Dawes. And in the meantime, the short kick, and the mark has been taken by Ryan Lewis. Now we'll just have a look at this short pass. Tim Hazel just measured it off okay, and he kept his eye on the football. Yeah, that's courageous.
Isn't that great to see in a young guy making his debut as well? So obviously looking to make a big impact today here for Norwood, and it's fantastic to see a young guy like that debuting today, you know, taking the courage to walk back into what was obviously coming. It's the hardest thing in football.
I've been impressed with young Blake too. He's got his hands on the ball, quick hands, pretty sure, doesn't second guess it. Here's Lewis. Obviously, for his first goal in league footy, it's a beauty, and he's pumped. Lovely kick by the young man. What a kick from there. The legs have got their second. Kicking with that slight breeze, they've got a chance to reel it in.
And that will get the whole team up, you know. A young guy coming in, making an impact, taking a strong grab. You see Tim Hazel taking a very strong grab there, leading outside 50. I thought Tim Hazel would have gone back and kicked the goal. A bit of breeze behind him, but giving the short pass. And then Ryan Lewis making no mistake on his debut game. Very happy with it. See a few of the experienced boys and Troy Clements there getting across to him. That should get Norwood going.
Well, Sturt's coach, Brendan Phillips, warned at quarter time, don't let Norwood back into it. Umpire not happy with the bounce, recalling it. We don't see that too often, no, and now he's chosen to throw it up. And as a result, Sturt comes away with it. Well, almost. Cooper taken to ground. Still no clean possessions. Fight in there, that's Burton. Finding it hard to get rid of the ball with Lewis hanging onto it.
In a centre bounce, Neil, that's very interesting to see the umpire pull it back. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
It wasn't the worst centre bounce I've ever seen. Let's see how he goes this time. That's better. Ball straight up. Sturt again, just looking to use hand passes that weren't there that time. Burton scrambles a kick down towards half forward. Breaking through, well done by Hatfull, being used as a defender this afternoon. Most often we've seen him up forward. He's Bound, normally at centre half back. He's up in the forward line. Sturt in trouble in defence. That's Howman taking a week, and umpire says that's okay. The groan came from Ben Knights, a former Norwood player.
Nothing to do with it, Neil. I just thought he was very lucky there not to get pinged.
In the bog, ball to ground. Hill got the tap down. Ballers couldn't get the kick away. Sturt with a lot of numbers around the ball. Beveridge, slick hand pass Sheedy. Now Burton had a lot of the ball in this quarter for sure. Smith. And now Howman off the right foot. At centre wing, Hatfull at the better position. Could have got a free kick. Norwood have got it in any case. Bratton shares it with Neil. Neil, another attacker normally in defence this afternoon. Oliver. Hand pass off to Howman. Howman takes his time and then all but surrenders the ball. Sheedy, Roberts Thompson, or Jarvis it was in fact, heading for the line. Brett James wanted a free kick, nothing doing, but he does point to the umpire and just ask the question.
We had some number 50s and 60s and all that sort of thing last week with West Adelaide. Brett Howman's wearing number 64. Michael Code number 53, so we're up in the big high numbers again.
The $64,000 question, has anybody worn higher numbers than that? Robrin, speaking of high numbers, he's up to game 97 this afternoon. Nice disposal, Dawes inside 50 with the left foot. Hazel has been very good overhead in this match.
That's good vision by Matthew Dawes, bringing it back there and finding Tim Hazel on his own. Very good vision on the left foot. He's not actually a natural left footer. He's a natural right footer. It's a very good kick to centre it back up. And Tim Hazel, like you said, Neil, strong overhead. And that's been really obvious in his last couple of attacks on the footy. He's stood there, he's gone up for it, and he's got the arms up nice and strong. The Sturt defenders can't get around them.
It's Norwood's 9th mark inside 50. Sturt have had just 2.
It's a change being made. Thompson, the man coming off the ground, he was brought on to replace Weatherald in the first quarter. Hazel kicking with his natural foot, missing the goal. And that was after Robrin had used his non-preferred foot and Dawes had used the non-preferred to get it to that man Hazel. And Hazel using his preferred option away to the right.
Shouldn't be happy with that at all either, Tim.
No. Look at a shocker. Beveridge just tumbles it away. It's Bowden. Short to Robrin. And goes to Clements.
Hill wants it long in the square, but he's 2-on-1. That's where Clements goes.
He's going to have to take the mark. Ball over the back. No Crummers. Jarvis shares it with Sheedy. Jade Sheedy. Had a man in short in Pearce. Didn't go to him. Went to a big contest, and a free kick will go to Joel Patfull. Bit of jumper taking there.
Yep. It's been good, actually, Joel Patfull. He's hitting the ball well from centre half back and giving me a bit of trouble.
I don't know about this, though.
That is an average decision.
That is pretty ordinary. Clements called for it, so you've got to lay a bit of blame there. You can't look. There's only one sport where you've got to go backwards before you can go forwards, and that's rugby union or rugby league. Or, you know, two sports. We like to say that. That is not a good decision.
No, it's a pretty bad decision there. And Troy Clements, being an ex-vice captain at Norwood, he should know better than actually to call the football.
Yeah, and a 2-on-1, and the ball just hanging in the air. Third man up was Smith. Dawes, good tackle.
Michael Maney, rowing, another sport where you have to go backwards to go forwards.
Thanks very much, Mark Soderstrom.
And throw in backstroke while we're at it.
Okay. Think of a few more before the day's out.
Yeah, but other than those sports...
What's going on here?
It's like that Monty Python film.
Is he calling the bounce back again?
He is.
I think he is.
Just throw it up, umpire, for the rest of the day. Be done with it. Big pack of players around this football as Hill goes off. It's umpire Chris Carey. And Scotty Carslake comes on. That thigh injury looks like it's taken another tweak, and he'll have a rest. Bound towards Smith. Richardson will fly. Had a few against him. Got it down. Bowden, toe poke. Well done, Cooper. Got it to Pearce. It opens up for the double blues. They're dangerous going forward. And lovely play by Neil. Caught one around the head. No free kick. White, there's a few ribs over the ball. No free kick. Umpire races in and will ball it up. Stephen Daniels.
I reckon Stephen Daniels has been working on his moontan.
Yeah, what?
And
Much fat around the ribs.
And the abs, geez. The body weight, the body fat, I should say, right down.
Can't see it in my ribs. Blake, clever. Jammed it on the boot. Bound's got to go. Rove beautifully run square by Dawes. Good tackle by Oliver. Falls to Pearce. Pearce to Weatherall, who's recovered. Got it to Cooper. About to be hauled in. Burton. They share it. Pearce. He's a long way out. And going for distance into the pocket. White just held on in the end and took a mark. Now the big fella, haven't seen him kick right foot too much.
No, but no one's actually going across to him. Someone, and there we go. It takes Brian Lewis, the debutant, the youngest bloke probably on the team, to go across and put a bit of pressure on him, but it hasn't mattered. That is a great goal, Michael.
And the times we've seen him kick on his right boot, he's done okay.
That's his third. And he's becoming a big pile of trouble for Stephen Daniels and the Norwood team back there. Almost be time to throw a change, I'd say, for Gary McIntosh. The problem I think McIntosh would have is who to actually put on him. Maybe Sturt Bound from centre half forward can actually go back and play as more of a full back, but then you lose the, you lose the attack, you lose the strength at centre half forward as well from Bound. So
Sturt with just 3 marks inside 50, but all resulting in goals to Stephen White.
It's undone a lot of the good work of Norwood this afternoon, and traditional rivals, these two clubs, and keep watching at the end of the match. We'll be showing the highlights from the 1978 grand final between these two sides. Time permitting, we'll get to show you about 4.5 minutes of highlights from that match, which is probably best remembered for about the last 3 minutes or so. Phil Gallagher kicking that goal from that decision, which I know the Double Blues still talk about. Is mud in your eye, Ben Nelson?
You seem happy about it now.
Yeah, I think the whole of the SA footy community debated that for 10 years. Ball down to ground, and Richardson making the tackle.
Got the fingernail, I think, and split him.
So it wasn't mud in your eye. A little bit worse than that for Ben Nelson as he comes off the ground. And young Thompson coming on. Ball again and disputes some heavy tackling, and umpire ruled that that tackle from Burton was in the back. So Clements, quick hand pass out, ball ace, goes down to half forward with the kick, sets the task for Bowen. Was good enough to rake it in, but Smith was good enough to make the tackle. Well done. Now Bartamucci off the left foot, didn't give it. Dawes was free, goes into the pocket and eventually out of bounds, and Ben Knight's not impressed with that little piece of play by Bartamucci.
No, sometimes Bartamucci just a little bit side. We see Bowen Nelson there getting, what was that, an elbow I think? Elbow in the eye.
Yes, just going in to tackle James. Ball to Clements from 40 metres. Clements a chance, converts. Norwood finally gets some reward for some persistence in this quarter.
Something that Troy Clements early in his career wasn't too known for was kicking the goals. He's kicked a few in the last couple of years, and that's probably to do with something along the lines of him playing more across half forward than half back where he did previously and even today on ball. So Gary McIntosh throwing the changes, which he has to do now in his last few games with the Norwood team, throwing guys like Robbie Neal, who's played predominantly up forward, throwing him down back with Pat Bull, throwing Sturt Bowen and Matthew Dawes and Troy Clements up forward. It's good to see.
Back to 16 points, Sheedy to Burton, who's been impressive. Inside 50, target was White, but Daniels did okay on this occasion. Not so much with the kick, it may fall to ball ace. Weatherall attacked it hard toward the line. This is Bowden, just overran it, lets Weatherall back in. Loose boot, Clements with a bit of pace. Good play, looks for Bowen. Bowen with a bit of body work, knocked it down. Hazel, he's dangerous round goals, feeds it off. Dawes has got Bartamucci on his left boot. Goal. Can he kick a goal? I think it's there. It's back to 10 points. Good work by the Redlegs. Well, they're showing a bit this afternoon, that's for sure. They didn't win the first quarter, they won 7 this year. But I tell you what, they're showing some grit. They've kicked their third in this term.
It is. Scotty Bowden, the persistence to keep the footy in there and not let it run over the boundary line. Troy Clements, a nice long attacking kick into the forward 50. And a couple of nice handballs, including that quick handball under pressure by Matthew Dawes, and Bartamucci finishing like he does well on his left foot.
You were angry before because Bartamucci did not give a hand pass to Dawes. Dawes didn't have any hesitation then, did he?
That shows the difference, Neil, between a team player and maybe someone that sometimes is a little bit more, you know, individual.
More tough call. Ball forward for Sturt. On the ground in dispute just for a change. We'll see a lot of this afternoon as the match wears on. The ground will cut up more and more, you'd think. There is a bit of weather around the place, and by that I mean some rain. We haven't seen much so far. Here's Weatherall leading the chase towards centre wing. Beats his man Blake pointlessly. Back inside 50 with the kick to the tall targets, but Robbie Neal comes in and takes a nice relieving mark. Hand pass out the back goes to Vassell. Vassell in short. Blake shares it with his captain. Brett James, high kick into the middle, dangerous kick, that's why. Feast intercepts, Sturt has numbers clear down the wing. Smith was under pressure, got the kick back towards the centre. Brave and strong mark taken by Weatherall.
Fantastic grab over the top there. Matthew Dawes not keeping the eyes on the footy, and Timmy Weatherall, as always, courageous with the eyes on the football there.
Not the greatest of kicks, Burton is over it, so's Weatherall, he's back in there, off the ball. Weatherall, or rather Burton, goes at Hazel. Nothing much in it.
The rain comes down, Neil.
Yes, that's the
weather you're talking about.
That would be the weather, I guess. Ball ace. Shares a ball with Blake, and Blake wishes he hadn't. Going backward at a rate of knots as soon as he got that ball then.
Not giving it up, though, which is very important for any team.
Still inside the centre square. Double Blues leading by 10 points. Sturt break out again. Feast, dangerous, in fact terrible hand pass. Burton was good. Cooper with the hand pass to Richardson. Richardson shares the ball when perhaps he didn't need to, but it's still a goal. And that's young Thompson. And that would be his first goal in league football.
With his first kick.
His first kick. Well, he's had one hand pass I can remember and one kick. At 17 years of age, making his debut this afternoon. Adam Thompson with the goal. And the Double Blues did well to just keep the ball going forward.
I didn't think this handball right there had to be given. Thompson having enough poise and just getting on the boot as he got ceremoniously dumped, but a good finish.
I think he would have been angry if Stephen White in the goal square had got a hand on that ball.
Didn't he? He tried. He did everything he could, Stephen White, to put a hand up on that.
Back to 16 points. Calabrese knocks it down. All the hard work that Norwood have done has come unstuck a little bit there. But it is very difficult to stop this double blues machine once they get going. They do share the ball so beautifully well. And Teddy Bear's picnic here at Unley.
So you brought your soft toys along today, Michael, put them on the fence?
Yep. No, got to get them outside, Ben. You can't just keep them inside all the time.
Bit of sunlight makes them
grow. Bit of sunlight, it's good.
I won't see sun today.
Nice, yeah. Where is the sun? Too much sun there for Stewie Bound. Couldn't pick it up. 45 plays 29. Bound's been okay up forward.
Yeah,
he's given him a target, but he hasn't dominated the game.
No, exactly right. I mean, he's been there and he's made a lot of really strong contests in the football, which is great as a centre half forward. But he'd like to see a couple stick.
A lot of mud out there. Stuck. In goes Weatherall. Loves these conditions. Sheedy. Cooper. Oh, did pretty well to get out of that lot. Smith to Howman. Howman's long kick. Blake just went at it one hand. Roberts Thompson shares it with Cooper. They are dangerous, the double blues. Cooper will kick it inside 50. Richardson had a look around. Well played, Vassell. Just got back and knocked it away. Robbie Neal, the general back there. Good kick. Spots up Brett James, who hasn't had too much of it there in Mogridge.
It's 12 possessions for Brett James.
OK, he's had plenty of it. Away goes Clements. Threw it on the boot. Another one to Ian Mogridge. In goes Borlase. Sheedy. Cooper. Cooper's had plenty of it. Short to Burton. Tell me he's only had 2 possessions. Moggy, please. Burton in the centre of the ground. Kicks it inside 50. And Chambers! Was all set up for him. Burton, who's had plenty of the football, got it to Chambers. I think I've won that one, Moggy.
And will this be Chambers' first touch?
Adrian Burton's had 13 possessions, including 9 this quarter.
Thank goodness for that. Grant Chambers.
It's a nice strong mark. Robbie Neal a bit unhappy with the way I think a couple of his Norwood boys attack the footy up the ground. But I'd say, Moggy, this would be Grant Chambers' first touch.
It's his first kick. He's had 3 handballs.
Right.
He's booted 40 goals this year, Brant Chambers. Probably have to drag this one left to right.
This one to put him level, I think, on top of the goal kicking, as long as Daniel Shell doesn't kick a goal today.
Have to get onto the telephone and find out.
Left to right.
There's a bit of a disease going on kicking to that end, but there's a lovely mark by Bowen. We've seen Andrew Hill earlier shank a few to the pocket.
This is no easy kick. This is out of almost ankle-deep mud. And after a game of footy earlier with the reserves football, it's been pretty chewed up. And this is certainly, from that angle, on any day, is not an easy kick.
He's only kicked 3 goals in league footy, Jacob Bowen, but he is a left footer. He'll be favoured by that. He's missed. Not a bad game in the mud. Both sides going pretty hard at it, and it is difficult conditions.
Norwood anxious to move the ball in quickly. Patfull's free, just ahead of half-back. Hand pass inside, just didn't quite make the target. James picks up a possession. Bratton inside with the kick, not great. Feast chops it off for Sturt. They'll want to come back and switch the play. Feast opts against that, instead goes short and wide. Still behind centre wing, Scott Toms, off the right foot. Bowen missed it, sliding in there. Umpire behind play as call play on. Well, it was an advantage, and then it was, and then it wasn't, and we'll go back. Start again. Chris Carey picking up the free kick. The offender was Chambers. Calabrese was the man who received the free kick eventually, and now Borlase wide out at half-back left for Norwood.
Come in for 16th possession.
Good player. Nitschke still slightly backward of centre. Oh, gee, that wasn't the greatest of hand pass. That was a trip, though, and that could be a report. No, umpire calling play on. Dawes, hand pass was loose. Blake taken down nicely by Thompson. Holding the ball, said the umpire that was tough.
That was harsh because, you know, it could have gone a bit either way, I guess, the holding the ball, holding in the back, but really didn't have a lot of chance to get rid of that. Looked up and, oh, well, the umpire's right on it.
Thompson to White to Weatherall to Cooper. He's on his wrong foot. He comes back inside looking for the left. Cooper inside 50 with a kick. Good pass. Adam Clun made the short lead and takes position and will kick from perhaps 50 metres. Don't know if he can carry this sort of distance. Just looking around at the moment for a lead. Burton was one of those players. He's now getting out of the area. Feast has dropped in there. And that man Richardson made a lead as well. And now Cooper just dropped inside 50, but no, says Adam Clun. He's decided to kick from... No, he hasn't. Disguised it brilliantly. Richardson on the lead. Small man to small man, and Clun gets the congratulations of his teammates for some clever thinking.
Brad Vassell just got fooled there as the kick was coming in. He thought it was going to be the goal kick and just got fooled.
Well, he fooled me.
Well, that's right. He did well at it.
And it's a lot easier to fool me than some of the players out there, and he fooled them as well.
Certainly right now. I don't think Richardson will have a problem with the distance from here, Neil.
You wouldn't think so. And there's no mud in the lead-up, or no ankle-deep mud in the lead-up to his kick, so you'd think just a question of conversion. No problem at all. Accuracy was there. Richardson has a goal, and Sturt just kicked that. Just put that little worry, shall we say, that distance with 3 or 4 goals where, gee, they could break the bank in the next 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly right. It's the 23-point lead now. Sturt, we see that one go through. Will not go through, get the short pass there, the receiving short pass. Richardson making no mistake. And that will hurt Norwood going into the half-time break. Next third quarter, they get the... Where's the end? We have a close look. Oh, gee. Did that Neil Cross skim the post?
It looked like it from that angle, but in fact, I think you'll find it went through nice and clear and actually hit the netting behind the goal. And because of the angle, it looked like it had actually hit the post.
Done well.
Well explained. I think you might be right. Taken by Blake. High kick inside 50. Hazel flew a bit early. Ball ace. Back to Hazel. This is very high. And it won't matter. Didn't trickle through for a score as the rain tumbles down at Unley Oval. That quarter just going barely over the 25 minutes. And a pretty good contest to half-time. Sturt held an advantage of 23 at quarter-time. They have an advantage of 23 at half-time. 8-4, 52 to Norwood, 4-5, 29. Ben Knights take us through the goal kickers in that first half of footy.
Thanks, Michael. As we have a look there, it's Stephen White with the 3 goals, singles for the rest of the Sturt boys. And likewise on the Norwood side, all singles with Hill, Buttermilchi, Clements and Lewis.
And, gee, what do you make of those stats at half-time? Sturt, not surprisingly, a lot of handballs. Their ratios pretty much handball to kicks is pretty even, as usual.
And like we said also, Norwood in front with the kicking, and they are, you know, predominantly a kicking team. So nothing too unusual there. The inside 50s, Norwood actually in favour by 3, and unfortunately, you know, not putting it, well, putting the score on the scoreboard, and Gary McIntosh would be trying to address that at half-time.
Just a little bit of mud there. There's been a few incidents today where the players have got a little bit muddy. That was one of them. Poor old Matthew Buttermilchi. Didn't kiss the mud, though, but he certainly struggled on occasion to get his legs out of the mud, and you could certainly see there Ben Nelson with a cut that he received from a stray elbow in that incident, but it was in the middle of the mud, and Blake tasting some mud, and of course, who could forget, that was in the first few minutes of the game. Code forced to change his jumper as a result of that.
The shaggy dog gave the hair a bit of a shake and tried to get a bit out.
Yeah, no worries about that, but in the end he decided, well, I might as well get another jumper. Certainly, I think we would have struggled to recognise a few players out there if that mud was across the ground.
No doubt. Look, we've talked about the fact that it's in the pockets, it's along the flanks. It's not so bad through the centre corridor, and that's what both teams have to use.
Well, it's a good teaching lesson, isn't it, Siders? If you play the centre corridor, then you're a better chance to win the game, of course. But look, there was an incident earlier in the reserves match that you want to tell us about.
Yeah, Robert Young, an under-19s player, was running around in the twos, and with the mud, obviously the ground is in pretty ordinary condition. He's rolled his ankle and, in fact, actually broken a bone in the joint below the ankle. So he's in a fair amount of pain there, we can see, and he actually tried to belt his foot back into place. So from the medical rooms, he's not very good. He'll go and have an operation, perhaps get some pins put into that foot there at the moment. We did mention before the game that Sturt did try to keep the ground in as good a condition as possible. They only trained here Thursday night. They also trained out at Football Park number 3 during the week. But the conditions are bad. The players are handling them quite well. The rain has fallen steadily during the break, but hopefully the standard will keep up in that second term, Neil.
Thanks, mate. So as we get a close look at that real quality mud that they have here at Unley.
That's certainly mud.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Look, scores from other grounds. Only one other match in round 18 of SANFL this afternoon, and it's down at Noarlunga. Central District 12-6-78 leading South 5-1-31 by 47 points at half-time. So that means West and North will play tomorrow, with West Adelaide playing for 5th place. As we go into the second half of this match, here's Michael Maney.
What an important game that is too for South Adelaide to keep in touch, but up against Central District, who are a very talented side. Third quarter underway at Unley Oval, round 18 of SANFL football. Brand new footy out there. Players will appreciate that. Cooper and James Tangle. It's an interesting one, they'll tangle. And another ball up. Umpires hopefully will just throw it up for the remainder of the game. Sheedy to Cooper, an inside 50. Up goes Patfull, bumps the ball away. Bowden there with Pearce. Pearce hasn't had too much of it. The handball out of sorts, but another ball up. We'll see a lot of this in the second half. Let's hope real heavy rain stays away. It is forecast to come down this afternoon in Adelaide. Well done by Cooper to Sheedy. Looks for Richardson, who kicked a goal in that second term. Back to Cooper. A bit of pace. Burns them off. Uses the handball. Clun just fumbled it. In goes Borlase. Got one high. Umpire said a free kick to Scotty Borlase. Thought he might have ducked his head a bit there. Probably copped one in the ear at a 25-metre penalty. Ben Knights.
He did. Look, Scott Borlase is a bit lucky there. He took a bit of time, but the tackle, unfortunately, just rolled up over his shoulder and took him a little bit high. And then just copped a little, I reckon it was a little right jab as he got back up, and that's what resulted in the 50-metre penalty.
Norwood doing well in the freeze, 11-5.
We didn't really know whether it would be 50 or 25. Nitschke, mind having that kick back. Clements, loose handball. Roberts Thompson ridden into the ground, no free kick. Umpire letting it go, ball up.
Unlucky not to get the push from the back there, Michael, you'd think.
Yeah, look, I thought it was. 26 inside 50s apiece as Matty Cooper releases the footy. So it's been a pretty even contest, but Sturt have made the most of their inside 50s. Borlase, Nitschke sets up James, who gets a call, and gets a call from that young man in Vassell. Vassell kicks forward. No mark taken by Bartamucci. Howman hacks it. Reverse torpedo, interesting kick. Robran does some roving. Vassell had his hands on the footy a bit today. Dawes to Bowden. Bowden, just a scrubby kick. Well done by the Double Blues. Out of half-back and to the line. Boundary throw-in, 2.5 gone. 52 plays 29. Clark Roberts-Thompson, who kicked a goal, the first one of the match for the Double Blues.
You see Ben Nelson back on as well with that eye patched up, and no real changes for either side across the ground. It's just, I think we can watch the ball just get greasy and greasier as the game goes by. Now that bit of rain. At half-time, we see Scott Borlase get another free kick, that time in the back.
Borlase move the ball quickly north towards Bound. From behind Smith with the punch. Pearce, lightly tight Pearce. Off the Sheedy, off the right foot down towards White. Backs in on Daniels, who did well to get the ball to ground. You'd think he'd have too much athleticism for White. But the lumbering White almost catches Dawes. He certainly forces an error. Clun comes in for Sturt, can't take possession. They fight in there again. Finally, it comes out the back. Vassell, off the left foot, gets it towards centre wing. That favours Borlase, couldn't pick the ball up. Now he does. Finally secured the ball. Over to Bound, on the lead, should take the mark and does. Bound looks around and looks up the ground and nothing much on offer. Low skimming kick, certainly not his best effort. Howman intercepts it, looks to play on, does so. A little bit of tape around that nose, which, as we know, is broken. Code. Good kick. Nelson over the top. releases Burton, can approach 50 and even go for goal. Burton from 50, kicks it high up into the square, and good defensive work coming across the front. Patfull, minor score. Burton disappointed with that long shot on goal.
Brad Vassell doing the kick-ins there for Norwood, and he's been quite impressive.
So too this man, Patfull, playing at half-back. Well done. Norwood go forward. Well done, Code. Ball just jarred free. In goes Dawes. Carslake. Away to Lewis, who kicked his first goal in league footy earlier. Bartamucci, Scott Toms got it to ground. It is heavy over there. Hazel got to beat a couple of tackles. Carslake, we know he's a goal kicker, throws it on the boots. Not this time. But Norwood quickly back into attack after that behind from Sturt. Carlo
Calabrese sitting between some injured Norwood players. Chris Massey has a bruised big toe joint, and Andrew Hill also with a driver concern.
Ball out onto this grandstand side where all the spectators are huddling close together as the afternoon grows on. Getting just a little colder here at Unley. Scott Clements, last one up. Troy Clements, I should say, last one up. And
biggest ball getters in the first half for Sturt, Jay Cheedy 17, Adrian Burton 13 and Matthew Smith 11, and for Norwood, Scott Borlase 17, Brett James 13 and Michael Bratton 12.
Jay Cheedy averaging 25 possessions a game for Sturt, and their most prolific ball winner. Down again. There's Sheedy. Just a hand pass set up Cooper. He wouldn't have been happy with that. Little battered down, now in trouble. Bowen guts the hand pass out. Umpire said it was a throw. Unlucky. No, I don't think there was much wrong with it, but never mind. Umpire detected that it was a throw. It was Code who got the ball out. So Carslake with the ball and just outside 50, and I would have thought, especially today, well outside his distance. Drives it inside 50 into the muddy area. Ball ace, ball plugs. And we'll get another ball up. Scott Toms taking the ground. You can just see the way the players make an indentation in that ground. You can tell how much mud's there.
If you just got a nice tight shot on that, you'd almost think it was a cow paddock.
Careful.
Mr. Controversy.
Sheedy breaks for some drier ground. Now Smith off the left foot was good. Outside 50. Almost the mark to Code. Gets some help from Pearce. He's a left footer. Pearce was looking for somebody in the centre of the field, but all he found was James. Don't know who he was actually aiming for. James's kick inside 50. Ball to ground. Ball ace was the target. Back in front of goal, Cooper. I think he got a touch on that. Howman certainly did. The hand pass to Jarvis. Jarvis will clear the area for Sturt. Patfull in best position takes the mark. And Norwood will gear up again for another shot at getting a goal. Robrin on centre wing. One goes in and makes him earn it.
Held him up well there.
Robrin called the play on. Off the left foot, just shows the skills. Bound on the lead. Or rather, Carslake it was, on the lead. Inside to Clements. No great advantage in that. And now Robrin is on his left foot and looking to pinpoint somebody inside 50, and Bartamucci does the job. Well, I was about to criticise that hand pass because Robrin was going to the boundary and on his wrong side, and then he pinpointed a good pass to Bartamucci.
I'll tell you what, Neil, you weren't the only one who was about to criticise that. I was about to say, maybe the forward structure of Norwood at the moment, Bartamucci playing as a full forward, is, I guess, because of their limited injuries, in a bit of trouble.
Bartamucci, long and close. Rushed through by Smith in the end for Sturt.
At least Bartamucci is providing a target, though, and that's what Norwood need. With Hill off the ground, injured, and probably, you know, but looks at it for the rest of the day. Bartamucci, a small target, but a live wire up forward, and loves to kick a goal. So maybe that's the way Gary McIntosh is going to go.
1 goal, 2 to Bartamucci. Long kick out, thump forward by Bound, taken by Carslake, tried to straighten up on his right boot, and just in the end chipped it. And Bartamucci goes crook as Hazel gives Jarvis one across the chops. And we'll get a 25-metre penalty. Interesting too, Ben, here it comes, just
Skimmed him.
Skimmed him, not too much in that. Norwood, #1 in kicks, #1 in total possessions, but they just don't use the footy.
Exactly right.
Away goes Pearce, kicks it long. Chambers and Neal just hug each other. In comes Blake, taken to ground. Burton just buffeted out of that contest, and he's hurt. Here's Adrian Burton, but gets up okay. There's young Lee Blake. What a story. Just fought off leukemia and into the league side. That is just amazing for a young man with plenty of G&D. Well done by James. Off one step. Smith. So I tell you what, this bloke is staking a claim to go to higher honours. Matthew Smith has really marshalled that back line. The kick looking for Feast, just chopped off. Spills over the back to Clements. Kick away to half forward to Hazel. Hazel, dear oh dear. Bartamucci thought he was held without the footy. Has got to do a lot of hard work. He's got plenty of pace. Bartamucci kicks long, bound, flies. Did he take the mark inside the line? He never. Ball across the face, another behind of Bartamucci. 1 goal 3.
Maybe it's because Bartamucci hasn't played a lot up forward, but there was open space all the way behind him, about 40 metres behind him. And what he did, he actually led up to Tim Hazel, so the kick was about a 10-metre kick. He should have just led over the back into space. Timmy Hazel could have popped over the top and they would have been away.
Howman undid his good work with that hand pass, and that's allowed Norwood inside 50 again, and that man Bartamucci pops up again out of the mud.
Getting a bit of it, Norwood, aren't they? But they've got to finish.
That's what they do, and then that's what they've done all year, Mike. They've just they've got a lot of the football, but unfortunately their skills and their decision-making has let them down.
Moggy, this quarter inside 50s?
This quarter inside 50, 8-5 in favour of Norwood.
34-28 overall as Bartamucci comes in and just short of the mud, kicks for goal. Away, well away. In the end, through for a minor score. Bartamucci struggling in front of goal, as is Norwood. 20 points the margin.
I think every kick that's come in today has missed to the right of that set of goal posts. So maybe something for the players on both sides to take into account where they're actually aiming the football.
Jarvis boots long and finds Bowen. Jacob Bowen, one of the players that Brenton Phillips has given an opportunity to this year and has done okay. He looks for his fellow big man in Feast. Pretty casual. Got it off. Pearce played for the free kick. Got it out to Clun. The rain tumbling down. Sheedy kicks long. White versus Daniels. Daniels this time okay. White's kicked free, but Daniels has done okay. Richardson hard at the footy. Here comes White. Drove the knees in. Bowden missed all that. Ball locked underneath. Umpire will call for a ball up. 12-minute mark of the third term. 20-point lead to the Double Blues.
Well done by Scotty Bowden there, making 2 contests and putting his body over the footy.
Nitschke couldn't take it. Burton locked in, pretty heavy on that flank. Inside 50, about 35 metres from the Sturt goal. Ball pops over the back. Nitschke, free kick, advantage rule paid. Patfull to Clements, back to James. James has got to throw it on the boot into the middle. Here comes Smith, gathers the footy well, dispossessed. Well done, Bratton. Plenty of pace, could have given it to Bound. Bratton's kick, how is it? Free kick against Bartamucci for holding on Scott Toms. And one across the ear. And a 25-metre penalty, so Norwood go into attack again and turn it over.
Why wouldn't Bratton give the handball to Sturt Bound then, running into space? He could have taken it at the 10 metres and kicked the goal. Just baffles me sometimes the way these players just decide what they're going to do with the football.
Ball to centre wing. Clements with the punch.
Oh, one's back into trouble.
Bowen took the ball all right, and then turned around and ran straight back into the man who punched the ball to the ground, and Clements, and he's still on the ground, and now we'll get up. So Double Blues with men behind the ball and just not running like they normally do out of defence. That'll be a free kick. Umpire will pick it out. No, he won't.
Remember last time we were here, Neil, we saw a couple of other young blokes in Maclay, and they got Bowen today. I mean, they've got some really big, strong boys who obviously pretty good talent.
Speaking of talent, there was some of their small man talent getting the ball out of there, among them Sheedy and Weatherall, the 2002 McGarry medalists. Ball comes to Clun. Cullen waiting for the lead and provided by Chambers, and he pushes off Neal and takes a strong mark. Now that's a matchup that's always going to be won if the ball's delivered properly by Chambers. Too big and too strong for Robbie Neal. He's
been a good duel.
Got the ball a long way from goal, though, and signalling, go back to the centre. He heads in that direction towards White's in the centre of this pack, pushes somebody out. And I think Daniels just put a bit of pressure on him from behind, and White put the arms out, and Robran took the mark. So Norwood able to break away.
Stuart Bound's got to get in front here. He's leading across. That's why Biden was underside and had to go back inside. Stewie Bound just had to push a bit harder there.
Not the greatest of kicks in the end. Clun intercepts for Sturt. Looks up inside 50. And Norwood getting the numbers back quickly. So Clun lines it up, goes in the direction of White. Pack ball across the front of the pack. Nice mark. Pulled the ground by White. Umpire won't give 25, or will he? Yes. Comes in and a quiet word to Stephen White.
I've seen the Norwood runner go out a few times today. Unusual to see him in the yellow. It's Anthony Harvey. Anthony Harvey from Norwood retired a few rounds ago. Great to see him back out there getting involved with the footy club.
As long as he doesn't get too involved with the game itself.
Well, like I said to him, just take it nice and easy. He's had a rotten run with injuries in the last couple of seasons, so I told him to stay well clear of the play today.
Well, you'd think only Anthony Harvey could find a way to get injured being the runner. Now, Norwood will get another chance to go inside forward 50. Dawes come on the lead. The big stretch came from Hazel. Ball to the front. Dawes doing his best to get possession. Was held on to. Umpire will penalise Burton for that indiscretion. Matthew Dawes, wholehearted commitment from Dawes as Robran comes off the ground. Calabrese making his way back onto the ground. No tall timber in the square for Norwood. So Dawes taking his time. Borlase leads out short. Finally, Bound goes down there. Dawes, great pass.
Great kick.
Bartamucci finally comes on the lead, presents himself in a nice mark in front of Scott Toms.
That's what you've seen a bit from the experience players in Dawes and in Brett James today. They just take that little bit longer when there's nothing actually on. They just take that little bit longer, that little bit more care and time, and wait for something to appear, because it does happen. The players move around, they run in and out, they give each other a shepherd or a block, and something happens.
Bartamucci, can he learn from his last kick? Well, he started the last one way too far right. This one he started way too far left. Getting the ball, just can't convert.
How close do Norwood have to be at three-quarter time, Ben, to be any chance of snatching a victory here today?
The last quarter this year has not been their strong point, so they have to be very close.
They're about 4 goals in front. It sounds the thing's taken by Richardson. Away to Nelson. Away goes Cooper. Plenty of pace. They can't mow him down. Intelligent kick. Roberts-Thompson just to his bootlaces. It might fall back to Cooper, who should get a free kick against Blake for a high front-on tackle. And Cooper will shoot for goal. And, of course, we will have a look at the 78 grand final. And, Ben, that is pretty much a free kick.
That's definitely too high. Definitely too high. And
unlike the 1978 grand final when Phil Gallagher got that kick with 3 minutes to go.
Thought you would have forgotten his name, Neil, but you just seem to be able to roll it off the tongue.
And what else did you pick up at half-time, Neil?
No, that was it. 23 points was the margin in this game at half-time, as it was in the 1978 grand final, in favour of the Double Blues on both occasions.
Cooper to make it 25 points has hit. Woodwork.
Couldn't have a better shot for that. Where we're sitting, we're right behind that kick, and could see that was aimed for the post the entire time. Unlucky not to get that ball bending back a little bit with the wind blowing left to right on our screens. See Brad Vassell doing the kickings as well, like I mentioned before. Young bloke, fair to responsibility, but he's stepped up in the last couple of weeks.
Got 18 minutes in this quarter. 7 points between the two sides. Well, they've kicked 7 points, so no major score in this quarter. Robbie Neal just got the ball to ground. Blake off the right foot, not the greatest of kicks. In fact, possibly could not have been worse. Jacob Bowen, big left footer. There's some chance here at this distance. If it was a dry day, I think you'd back him.
Might get the optometrist down to Norwood during the week, Neil, to see if there's a bit of colour blindness in the camp.
Bowen, big kick from 52 metres, won't get the distance. A lot of pushing going on, and Chambers at the back takes the mark, and you heard the grunts and the groans. Robbie Neal not very happy with what went on there.
Robbie Neal.
There's a lot of ooh and ah and ow going on. And in the end, the ball just carried the pack. Chambers was waiting there for it. For that goal umpire, just trying to keep warm.
Not that windy.
Chambers.
Jeez, he's serious.
And has finished the job. A little bit hard to see the goalpost there, but he's finished the job, no doubt about that. The goal umpire gives the two-fingered signal, and Sturt has finally broken the drought. First goal of this third term.
He's a big kid, that Bowen, and he's led back and latched onto that one, and it's gone over 50 metres. Grant Chambers, like we said, fortuitously waiting there, read it beautifully over the back of the pack, and a good shot, and snuck in.
Just snuck in. Our first goal of the third term comes at the 19.5-minute mark.
And you would have thought that it would have been Norwood kicking the first goal, the way they've been playing the first 5-10 minutes and the opportunities they've had.
Well, they've gone in 3 more times inside 50, and they just haven't made the most of it. They just turn the ball over, cop it up. And Richardson kick smothered. Code thought he copped one high on the way through. Umpire says no, as Dawes and Clun.
It's a great smother by Brett James, and that's leading from the front.
He does that week in, week out for Norwood. Terrific player. Calabrese, beautiful ruck work down to Borlase, who ran into a brick wall in the form of Burton and also Richardson.
We'd like to see Calabrese get a bit more dominance in the ruck here. It was a lovely tap, that last one. But he's just, you know, he just really needs to get a bit of aggression about the way he goes with his ruck work, and especially his overhead marks and so forth. He just needs to give a bit more to Norwood around the ground.
Third man up is Kabrim right into football. Bound is third man up this time. Smith was a moment ago. Jarvis got it away. Kick long by Burton, looking for Chambers. Patfull did okay. Blake slides to the line. Boundary throw in. Chant going up. I don't know what they're saying. Like being in a soccer game, Neil. The chant in the background.
Not quite.
Sort of horrible weather. Rain tumbling down. How's Sodas? The knees knocking together down there, Sodas?
Michael, it's very cold, and change has been made. Joel Patfull gone on to Brant Chambers, and Robbie Neal's now going to have a crack at Jake Bowen.
Thought I spotted you in the inside there a moment ago, just warming yourself up, Mark, but you've stuck with us.
I certainly have, Michael. I know where my place is, sitting on the pine, just on the other side of the ground.
Ruckman tangle. A lot of players around this. Bratton with plenty of pace, sharp hands to James. Which way will it bounce? Attack by Code. Terrific play. Well, that was Pearce. Got it away. Free kick too high. It'll be taken by Roberts Thompson for the double lose.
Get a chance to put them deep into attack. Goes in the direction of the Daniels-White clash. White brings it to ground. Ball loose. White then toe pokes it out of mid-air, and that'll be another free kick. Daniels, brave, put his head down. Chambers got him high. He'll get 25. Yes. No, he hasn't. He's taking his time. That'll be 25.
Well preempted.
Yes. Just looked like he was itching to give it away. And in fact, if Chambers doesn't turn around, and it's more than 25, it's 50. So if he doesn't turn around and surrender the ball, it'll be another one. Colin Ralston, the umpire in charge there, blows time on again. We see in the background 26 points the margin in favour of the Double Blues as Daniels breaks and kicks his side down into attack near the forward 50. Ball to ground. Carslake. Oh, poor hand pass. Did all the good work and then gave a poor hand pass that looked like a throw off the ground to Carslake. Finally, the ball back in Norwood's goal. And Hazel, 20 metres out from goal. Delivery there from Bowden on the wing, off the left foot. You got the feeling that the Double Blues not quite aware that Bowden was a left footer. He was able to come inside there, and good spot up, found Hazel 20 metres from goal, and he's been given a 25-metre penalty as well. So from point blank range, Hazel kicks the goal. But they're still well in this.
Only
20 points the margin.
That's right, yeah. So 20 points. It's, you know, we have said all day that the other end is the scoring and the end on right to screen. So that is the the scoring end, and Norwood have a big chance this last quarter if they can keep going. They've shown a bit in this quarter to actually get the ball inside 50. See Tim Hazel finish off from point blank range. And look, like you said, Neil, they're not out of it. Sturt need to kick another couple of goals if they really want to make a, wrap this one up.
Sturt only lost the final quarter on 2 occasions this season, though.
And Norwood, on the other hand, haven't done very well in the last quarters at all.
Well, Stephen White's got it. Inside 50, marking in front of Stephen Daniels. And very kickable from here. Rain tumbling down, as you can see on screen. He's a pretty good hoof, though. Stephen White, you'd think, with that bit of a breeze, nice run-up, he ought to be able to split the middle. He's kicked free. Has been a real danger man. Long kick by White. He might have just pushed it across the face for one behind. Back to 21 points. It'll be tough for Norwood if this rain keeps bucketing down. Could you think that the Double Blues could probably just lock the ball up and just shut the game down?
Well, they bring the ball back in quickly to Nitschke. Nitschke, and probably the heaviest part of the ground, that pocket there in front of the Bowls Club. Ball out of bounds. Bound will look up, no doubt, at the umpire and think I was unjustly served there. Smith, the defender, getting the ball out of bounds. 21 points the margin.
Sorry, Neil, Sturt bouncing. He's got a bit of a limp up there, so wouldn't it be good to have another key forward go down for Norwood, and they'd be very, very short on their bench.
Well, they don't have many key forwards, do they? Smith allowed the ball to get behind him. Hand passes on. He does that. Backwards he goes to Code. Ball smothered. Right on the siren for three-quarter time. And another short quarter, just 25.5 minutes long.
At 78 grand finals looking good, we'll probably be able to see the whole game.
1 goal apiece in that quarter. And at three-quarter time, Sturt 9-7-61, lead by 21 points. Norwood 5-10-40.
21 points is, you'd say in any game, it's a margin that certainly by no way has cemented you to win. So Norwood have a big shot here if they can put themselves together. They've played a pretty good, respectable 3 quarters of football. On the other hand, Sturt have been solid. They've certainly haven't broken the game apart, and I think maybe they'd probably look for a bit more and hope that they were a little bit further ahead at three-quarter time. But Norwood came back that quarter, and even though they didn't necessarily put it on the scoreboard, they showed that they've still got a bit left in them. And hopefully in this last quarter we can have a real fair dinkum crack at it from both teams and come out with a nice tight result. We have a look here at the third quarter highlights.
Jade Sheedy's been very important for the Double Blues. And in fact, as we said, the most prolific ball getter this season, Sheedy, 25 possessions a game, and the runner-up and the best and fairest for Sturt last year, 2002 McGarry medalist. But he's declined, shall we say, somewhat in the third term. It's asking a lot for the midfielders to run through the ball.
Consistently, that's right. So, I mean, Sheedy's shown a lot. He's obviously got a lot of the football, and that's a real positive for Sturt, that their experienced players are leading the way and pulling through some of those younger guys that we've seen come into the team.
And the younger guys from Norwood's point of view, looking more towards next season. A guy called Michael Bratton has done pretty well for them off the wing.
He has. He was on the Crows rookie list. Unfortunately, didn't hold his spot on that this year, but Norwood have been looking for a lot for him this year. They've put big raps on him. They've really made him into the next, I guess, captain, almost the Brett James of the future, which is a big call for a young guy. But that's what Norwood are aiming for, and he's been in and out of the ones this year, in and out of the seniors, and played a few twos games. But you see today he's shown a fair bit and got a fair bit of the football.
He has indeed. As we look at the goal kickers there, Sturt by 21 points. Stephen White, 3 goals, all in the first half. And just single goal kickers there for Sturt among their 9 goals. And on the other side of the page, Norwood just all with single goal kickers. Just to look through those stats, and again, a lot of marks for Norwood, 48-37, and a lot more kicks. So you would think they would have a lot more territory, and yet, yeah, they haven't really been able to kick a score.
But I think that's the key to it. They've got a lot of kicks, but a lot of them are short kicks, and therefore that's where they get their marks from. And then when they actually use the football with a bit of length, quite often it's ill-directed, and that's what really comes back to hurt Norwood. So we go down to the Norwood huddle and have a bit of a listen with a few of the boys. You see Brett James there with the troops.
You're the one that gets amongst them. You know what I mean? Yep. Yeah. We can't get there. Communicate. Yep. And we'll get there, but he can't just chill out. So it should be you and a position player. Yeah. I think I'm winning centre bounce. That's what
Brett James doing a lot of talking there, and it's interesting. He must be coming to the end of his career, and he's a very big leader for the Norwood Football Club. You're just wondering about, assistant coach maybe.
Yeah, look, I think Norwood would love to have him stick around the club if that was the way he went, but I think Brett James is someone as well that loves football so much, and certainly hasn't had a great deal of injuries, and so his body's pretty good, and it would be a good chance to stick around for another couple of years.
Let's see maybe if we can listen into Gary McIntosh.
30 minutes to go. We've had some fucking games where we haven't been for 4 quarters. All right?
Not today.
3 quarters have been pretty good so far. We've got 1 more quarter now to find out if we can keep going the distance.
Come on, boys.
Bit of belief in ourselves. We're getting enough of the ball. Remember, we've got Barter up there, we've got a small forward line, and Hayes and Bounty out at centre half forward, right? Kazi, we need you to keep your feet and not go over so easy up there, right? We need another lift out of you. All right, give us something. Keep the discipline, Brad's been excellent. Right? Keep that discipline. We're done out there, boys. Come back inside on your left leg all the time, all right?
You've worked, Scotty,
Make sure you're not kicking through the man, mate.
Blakey, you've been good down the back, Blakey.
Use your hands over the top. Well done, Carlo, in that quarter. Well done, Jay. Let's give us a good start. Well done. 30 minutes, fellas. 30 minutes to see if we've got still a chance. Some fortitude. Honestly, boys. Some balls. Let's go.
Mark Soderstrom, you've been listening down there as well. What have you picked up?
Well, obviously a very spirited effort by Norwood after half-time. They were buoyant and confident, and they've said that they've worked very hard. Gary McIntosh has a board there that actually highlights the number of tackles and smothers, all the 1%ers, and the missed tackles is also on there. So he's emphasised the need just to work hard, and the way that he played his footy was strong and tough, and that's what he's asking the boys to do.
And so, look, I must question this. The ground obviously has deteriorated somewhat, but Norwood is going to go with a small forward line to the end, which is actually drier, so you'd think they'd have more chance of marking up there.
Well, you think they possibly would, but the ball has remained reasonably dry. With the rain falling now, it has become a little more slippery, so perhaps they're looking for some goals off the ground now.
Okay, thanks, Sotis. As we just have a look ahead to what's coming up on ABC TV next Saturday afternoon, we'll see the Double Blues again at the Adelaide Oval up against the Eagles. Interesting match, that one, because it's two sides that will no doubt play a part in the finals. The Eagles, as we know, on top of the ladder. Port against North Adelaide, West against South, and Central against Glenelg are the other matches. And Norwood, of course, has the bye, and they will welcome the bye after the muddy conditions of this afternoon. Here's the final quarter with Michael Mahey.
Sturt by 21 points. Rain tumbling down, and Norwood just kicking the 1 goal along with the Double Blues in that third term. Knocked out into space. Weatherall grabbed by Bowden, and another ball up. It's been that sort of day at Unley Oval. Tim Weatherall loves this sort of weather. Sheedy gets it to him. That's Weatherall. Nitschke attacks the footy. Thought he was going the other way for a second. Pumps it long inside 50. Clements at the front. Couldn't take the mark. Ball over the back. Well done by Carslake. Couldn't quite pick it up. Ball taken to the line as Bartamucci says, come on. Out deliberately. Very chilly afternoon.
Saw Gary McIntosh mention to Scott Carslake, just hold your feet, so obviously something to keep in mind then, Scott Carslake, when he's going for the footy. Muddy, slippery conditions.
Smith got it down. Early goal here. It'd be interesting for the Redlegs. Sheedy got it to Nelson. High kick. No one could take it. Well done by James. Had no one to give it to. Nitschke. It's his second kick of the term. Over the back, Smith just mops it up well. Sheedy. This way, that way to Smith. Vicious back to Sheedy. Just kicking to a pack situation, and Richardson read it best. Took the mark. Where to from here? He's got Oliver on in the middle. Decides to kick it to the outer side and spots a man up there in Burton, I think that is. So that's Weatherall. Will get a little bit difficult to pick out.
Getting a little darker as well.
Darker. Robberin will get a free kick for a push. Somebody else will.
Concertina effect.
Lee Blake gives up the footy. It'll go to Code, who kicked from 45. bit of a surprise as
Smith.
Matthew Smith off screen is holding his left ear. Cop one. Copped an elbow, as I nearly did from Neil Cross's. Threw the elbow up.
The old demonstration works beautifully in the commentary box, doesn't it?
Code. Long kick. He's playing a bit of footy in the forward line. Code, he's got the distance. That could be enough. I think I might call it very early, but it'll be pretty tough for the legs to get back now.
And it will be tough from here, Michael. That is a fantastic kick from there. I mean, not many goals have been kicked down that end, full stop, but to kick one from 40-45, that's a great kick, and he runs all the way back to centre-half back and high fives all the way. See here what actually happened. The free kick and getting awarded. Code, lovely kick, just snuck it over the boundary line. Stevie Daniels got the hand on it, but just as it went up past the line.
Well, was that the backbreaker for Norwood? Sturt go forward again. Tracking the ball across. Well, then Hazel is forward of the play. First game that Lewis got it to him. Hazel, well, he was in space, just waited in the end. Poor kick inside 50. Ball on the ground. Down, just knocks it forward. Sturt with the numbers now. Just in that muddy area, it's so difficult to handle. Carslake was on the merry-go-round then. Cooper fighting hard on the ground. He's in trouble. Umpire comes in and says, I'll have it. Just have a look at the slip of the mud. Just a bit of turf being churned up there. Take a few weeks for this oval to dry out, no doubt about that. Sturt's got a couple of more matches at Unley to finish. They play the Eagles next week at the Adelaide Oval, and then Central District here, North Adelaide here, and then to Noarlunga for round 22 to play South Adelaide. Here's Burton. He's been good this afternoon, Adrian Burton. Down towards Chambers at half forward, did well. Just got away from his man, used the one arm, trapped the ball, goes in long looking for the tall timber up there. Ball knocked to ground. Richardson couldn't take it. Norwood does well. Bratton, the hand pass to Dawes. White came at him but slipped over. Dawes' kick down towards half forward was long and direct. Clements with the mark. Player running for him. Well done. First game of Lewis. Drives it up long. Almost. Hazel finding it difficult against the taller opponent. And in the end rushed through. And that was Code who did all the hard and heavy work up there.
It's good direct football from Norwood. They're going straight down the middle. We see the rush behind. The kick by Dawes was excellent. The Clements got caught behind, so Dawes straightened it back up, kicked more to his favoured side, and led the Clements mark.
Heading up to 5 goals the difference now. Tough job ahead for the Redlegs as Ben Nelson, the former Crow, kicks a wobbly old kick to the wing. Oliver at the back. Thought Robin got it one high, taken by Sheedy. He's got plenty of pace. He's run a long way.
A bit too far.
Just trying to run into some solid ground there, I think, Jay Sheedy. A bit carried away. Didn't want to bounce. Goodness knows what would happen. And it's got to come all the way back.
Lights are on.
Lights are on.
Such as they are at Unley.
Anyone home? So viewers are home watching this as Hazel takes the mark.
All 4 of them. There they are. The 3 lights above the grandstand. Hopefully add a little bit to this game here in this last quarter.
Let's hope Norwood can switch on, the same as the lights. Tim Hazel, who really has played pretty well today.
Coming out for his 9th kick, 3 handballs.
It's been okay.
It's not too bad up forward, and he's presented, he's made a couple of good strong grabs. What he has done on occasions, he's made a couple of poor decisions, and you wouldn't expect that from an AFL experienced footballer, where he's made a couple of poor decisions with a disposal, maybe hasn't backed himself in, but see how he goes here.
From 47 metres, Hazel has got the journey. And he kicks a goal, his second. Big one in the 3rd quarter, and it's back to 22.
Keeps Norwood alive. I was going to say, keeps Norwood alive. And look, they're not out of it. I mean, they haven't predominantly played very good last quarters this year. You see Tim Hazel slide in there for a lovely chest mark. But look, anything's possible, and maybe Norwood might, Neil, Make all your dreams come true and come back and get up on the last kick of the day.
Look, you mentioned not very good in their last quarter. South not very good in the third quarter down at Noarlunga Central. 18-9, 117, leading South 5-3-33. The Panthers added 2 points in the third quarter. Double Blues with nominally possession in the centre of the ground.
That's about enough. That's a flogging enough for you to think that South might not recover from that.
Well, it doesn't do their percentage any good either. They're in a three-way tug-of-war for that 5th spot in the finals. Port Adelaide already has a better percentage, and now West Adelaide will be playing North Adelaide tomorrow with an opportunity, if the Bloods win, to go into the top 5. Right here, you would think the Double Blues are shoring up their spot in the top 3. Feast, poor hand pass. Still the ball on the ground. Umpire comes in. Did he find a free kick in there? I think he did. We'll go to Pearce. So Pearce just shaking off some of the mud. He's a left footer. White leads for him. That's the sort of area he goes. Down towards Stephen White, and Chambers will come late, but ball just hung up there in the breeze, and Blake showed courage to stand under it. So Blake, Carslake is the direction he goes. He gets that far. Yeah, not a bad kick at all. Just over the head of Clun. Carslake will want to move it. He does. James. Short to James.
And Bounds leading. Daniels has come all the way down to the goal square. If one can go over the top.
No such luck. Nice tackle made in there by the Double Blues. And yes, Daniels, we see there running through the centre of screen, thinking about going back down to his defensive post, and that's where he's heading.
Trying to keep himself warm, I think.
Middle of the pack, Lewis taken to ground. Umpire will come in. We'll get another ball up.
Interesting to note that Daniels' opponent, Stephen White, not interested in going anywhere near him, but now he's just decided there could be a chance and snuck over to mind him.
And ball in that heavy mud. Carslake got the hand pass to James up in front of goal. Hazel did well, opposed to a taller and stronger opponent in Code. Ball through for the minor score.
I tell you what, Ben Knights, I've been in some cold places. This is one of the beauty. Scott Toms.
Just about get blown away.
Fine, Stephen White. We are working under a little bit of duress, those people at home.
Someone come and reattach the canvas.
Oh dear, we won't tell you exactly what's going on. Tim Weatherall, we better tell you about the footy. Tim Weatherall's got it. The outer side of the ground's getting dark. I don't think the lights are doing too much to it. Pearce got it to Feast. And it ends up with Pearce again. Fresh, airy.
Good tackle by Clements.
Well done by Clements. We know he's strong upper body. Bowden, who has been okay, and so too this man in his first game. Lewis thought he had enough of that to be paid, and he has hurt himself, Daniel Pearce. The hip or the back region,
yeah, maybe. Like might have got a knee in the back. As he was thrown, landed right on the knee. Right in the middle of the back. And that would hurt.
Not good. Taken by Burton. He boots it long. Good mark, Patfall, as Pearce is in a lot of trouble. You can see him in the box there. Also in a bit of trouble here could be the Double Blues as the Redlegs go forward. Good kick, Hazel. No free kick, yes.
Had to be given that.
Ben Knights pumps his fist. Former Norwood player. Hazel.
Ball ace.
Normally used it well. Ball ace has got to fly. Can't take the mark. Would have been a beauty. To ground, Jarvis. Howman. Experience. Short kick. Chopped off. Good smother. Ball ace is going to kick a goal. He gets to Shepherd. And the Redlegs are within 16 points. They are defying all odds. And after that Code goal, you would have thought the Double Blues would have got the breeze in this final term.
Well, maybe that's what Sturt thought too, Michael. Maybe they sort of thought, well, that's the goal we needed. That's the one. Let's shut the gate. Maybe Norwood won't come back from that. We know they don't play good last quarters. Well, they're showing us something different here. We've got another injury. Another Sturt injury down there. Stretcher, that's the same one. Pierce going off on the stretcher. So that's never good to see any player going off on the stretcher. You see Pierce come down after the tackle and land. You can see the knee actually in the middle of the lower back there. And straight away, sends shivers down his spine and probably down into his legs.
It's actually probably smart play by Sturt, because the run has gone with Norwood. This just slows the whole game down, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
He's looking for a Sturt angle, Neil.
Not at all. Not at all.
Well, it certainly does that, Neil, after a couple of Norwood goals. And like we said, maybe Norwood getting a bit of a sniff here. Sturt going back into their shell, perhaps. You know, something we haven't seen too much this year. This would certainly slow the play down. And like we said, we don't like to see any play on a stretcher. And we hope no Pearce isn't too badly injured there. But this now becomes a very important 15 minutes of football for both these teams. Sturt wanting to secure the top 3 and therefore the second or the double chance in the finals. Norwood desperate to get themselves off the bottom of the ladder in front of Glenelg.
Absolutely.
He's just straight down to the rooms. Ball down in the middle. Clun received a nice little hand pass from Roberts-Thompson. Now it goes down. And be a free kick against Blake, just tugging on the jumper of his opponent in Burton.
Had a good day, Burton.
Has had a good day, hasn't he?
11 kicks with this one and 9 handballs.
20 possessions. So down towards White. Robin will fly. Robin brings the ball down, and now will, what's the umpire saying? Play on. He's allowed the players to try and sort it out. Still the ball's caught in under. And we'll get another ball up inside forward 50. Just 13 points the margin. Double Blues, well, the Redlegs will be very happy with this. Slick hand pass came out to Richardson. It came from Cooper. High ball, inside forward 50. A lot of players there. Feast got his hands on it. Umpire said play on. Feast got his foot on it that time. Up in front of goals. Robbie Neal battling hard. Ball on the ground. It's buried there somewhere in the mud. Picked up by Bowen, thrown to ground. Umpire will come in and call for it. Umpire Colin Rouston just comes in and takes position. In the bog. All down. Hatfield came over the top. Richardson gathered it. Hand pass was quick. Not enough room for Sheedy to move in. Real estate is priceless out here at Unley.
It is. There's Anthony Harvey running across in the lovely yellow. And we saw umpire Fox there, not wanting to get too much mud on the old fingernails or under the old fingernails. Very dainty. There goes Anthony Harvey.
Well, in again, a lot of bodies around the ball, and as was suggested, I think, by Michael, the Double Blues do have the option of trying to shut things down, and that man there delivering the message from McIntosh, which would be, open the game up, boys. Ball to ground again. A lot of bodies around the ball. It's released. Weatherall couldn't take it. Now he can, just holds on to it. He's in trouble. I was quite satisfied that Tim Weatherall was making some attempt to get rid of the ball. I don't actually believe that, but never mind. The umpire did. That's the main thing.
As many ball-ups and stoppages as they can get will suit the Double Blues. Cooper. And just throw themselves on it. Vassell, who's been okay, young Vassell. I've been impressed with him today.
Vassell and Blake and
Lewis.
And Lewis, yeah, sure. The young guys have been very impressive.
They have. Another ball up coming up. And time ticks away. This quarter will go just a little bit longer because of the Daniel Pearce stretcher job. Let's hope Daniel Pearce is okay. Might get Sodas to give us a report soon as he finds anything about it. Weatherall, charge free. In goes Nitschke. He's swamped. And Thompson in there, number 31. And wants to go on with Jonathan Robran. He might have just given him one.
So, not too bad to see in the young guy. A little bit of aggression.
To see, here's Cooper. Cooper kicks it long to White. Oh, courage by Vassell. Ball booted off the ground. Here's Bowden. Just keeps it in. Uses his non-preferred and...
Why?
Kicks it out of bounds on the foot.
Why would you use your non-preferred there? You've got enough time to straighten up, kick down the line. Exactly. Yeah, Michael, exactly right. Michael's given the sign of the old talk sign, the Pac-Man, the moving hand. So yeah, not enough voice, not enough talk, and Scott Bowden maybe needs to use his peripheral vision a little bit better as well.
Kick by Weatherall. No free kick in there. White gave a shunt. Code. Good luck to you trying to get that out of there. Free kick. Umpire's blown the whistle. Go to Norwood for a push. Robbie Neal.
maybe the match-up for that one that Jonathan Robin seemed to get 10 seconds beforehand.
How difficult is it in these conditions? That is a horrible crop of mud. He does okay to get the kick away. Bollocks! That is a class mark from a class player at half-back.
Quiet to this half, but still his 26th possession.
Terrific game. To a contest. Carslake, quick hands, and James had it spent before he got it.
It's a greasy ball. Greasy conditions, really, it's just been persistent, hasn't it, the rain since half-time. It's just hasn't let up. It's just been, hasn't been too heavy, but it's just been consistent and persistent.
The word on Daniel Pearce is that he did cop a knee into the back. He's a bit tender and sore, but there's no structural damage.
Good to hear. Thanks, Mark. His family will be happy about that. Taken by Smith. Kicks it long, and Vassell in front. Well done by Richardson. Jammed it on the boot. Finds Feast. 47 metres out.
It's a fortuitous find too, wasn't it? It was just slang across and managed to get the foot to it, and Feast happened to be 30 metres on his own. Totally the wrong side of where you'd expect the football to go.
Big Simon has kicked it, and Bowen has been paid the mark. Well, he didn't hold on to it for too long, but I think the umpires have cut a bit of slack there to the young man.
Two ruckmen there loitering with intent, weren't they? Like, Feast was just loitering out there, and Bowen was just standing around in the area where the ball landed.
So, no, what's your decision? In a pretty tight match, that's not a bad decision if you're a Sturt supporter. But anyway, the umpires just play it as they see it. And Jacob Bowen, just the one behind. Add a goal to that in your budget. Back out to 22 points. Bowen kicks his first.
So you'd probably think, almost at the 19-minute mark now, there might be about 8 or 9 or maximum sort of 10 minutes to go in the football. Now, you know, there's enough time for Norwood, but in these conditions, you'd almost think that almost semi-dubious mark, but a lovely finish, has shut the gate for Norwood.
It will a Sturt score from this foray. Here's Cooper on the non-preferred, out of the middle. Kicks down Chambers, wrestled his man out of the way, then took the ball. Looked like a training drill. He was slow motion then. Hand pass comes to Feast. And well run down by Robin from behind. I was about to say from 20 metres he kicks a goal, but he didn't. Sturt have still got it. Richardson taken to ground by Blake. The mud wrestle continues, and Burton out of bounds.
Just for Jay Cheaty in that passage of play, he's the busiest player on the ground with 10 kicks and 22 handballs.
It's a great chase and tackle by Jonathan Robin. Probably not as quick as he was a few years ago, but geez, that was a good chase, and really, if that doesn't give a spark to Norwood, then nothing will.
Mind you, the player he's chasing and Feast isn't all that quick either.
True.
You've got to temper that remark. For the centre wing, Jarvis, clever, Howman. Oh, that was asking a lot. Cooper just pulls it inside the line. So we'll give Howman the benefit of the doubt. He certainly pulled the ball in the Cooper direction. Cooper is a long kick, winds up, goes inside 50, right in the centre of the pack. The punch came. Thompson with the rove, taken to ground by Daniels. We get another ball up. That suits Sturt. Have a 19-point lead late in this game.
And just on Simon Feast, he's been a little bit out of sorts today. How have you seen his game today, Neil?
I think at the end of the day, these conditions don't suit the big men, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but I don't think Simon Feast has had a great season. Former best and fairest winner, a club champion at Sturt. 25 metres now from the Sturt goal. A umpire comes in and a quick ball up, and this gets things moving. Feast got the tap down, I think. Sheedy and White just off the ground with the soccer kick through for the minor score.
Yeah, it's an interesting game. I mean, it has been a day for the smalls and the smaller forwards, and we see up forward with Norwood, they've obviously run a very small forward line. But you know, the big guys, I think, can still have a certain impact on the game, and that's just what hasn't. I mean, Simon Feast is one guy I can think of who hasn't really shown a hell of a lot when he can really at least give a good contest in the air.
Double Blues go into attack. High kick. Mark taken. I think that might be Vassell. He's been okay for him. Kicks to a contest. That's a good mark. Taken by Chambers. Grant Chambers. long way from goal. That is a good kick. Sets up Cooper. Cooper with plenty of pace. Drew the man, then gave it to Sheedy. Had to give it across to Weatherall. He's got through a couple, Tim Weatherall, and the umpire said it would held to him. Well, 50-50. Or has he got a free kick for over the shoulder? Well, one umpire...
I thought a ball up would have been justice there because, as you say, Weatherall tried to beat a couple, then he got tackled slightly high, and the umpire that wasn't in control of the play spotted the high tackle.
Well, that's the 3 umpire system for you. 3 sets of eyes is better than 2. Kick by Weatherall, and a mark's been taken. Oh, the smallest man in that cluster in Josh Richardson, as Weatherall gets a pat on the back from Jade Sheedy, and Josh Richardson has kicked 1 goal 1. And along with a lot of his teammates splattered with mud, there's Jonathan Robran going to the bench. Carlo Calabrese, Mark Soderstrom's favourite player in the SANFL. A pasta dish, according to Sodas. Sodas has decided to move into the crowd.
It's too muddy for me, Michael, down there, but yeah, Carlo Calabrese had another go in the ruck, and the round of applause for Simon Feast as he comes off the ground and is replaced by Chris Oliver also in the ruck.
This to put it beyond doubt for the Double Blues. He is a goal kicker, Josh Richardson, knows where they are. Double Blues at home, 28 points, the difference.
Yeah, they've done very well, Sturt, to hold on and push ahead when Norwood certainly have challenged, not only this quarter early, but last quarter. And Sturt are going to deserve this victory today in the mud and in the consistent rain. You see the good, strong grab there and a good finish. But Sturt do deserve it, and they are a top 3 team, and they're pushing for that top 2 finish. And look, this will be very encouraging for them going towards their last 4 games of the season.
Richardson's second for the afternoon, 21 goals for the season. And he's played every game for the Double Blues, all 16 of them this season. And Cooper getting a little bit feisty with another feisty character in Bartamucci. Can't be long left in this match, boys. Settle down, 24 minutes gone. 26 points the margin in favour of the Double Blues. They will win. Cooper puts their head down, somehow got through the pack, opened up with a hand pass to Oliver. Oliver did well to control it. A hand pass of sorts. He was aiming for Richardson. Thompson on the ground, pulled off it. Dawes picks up the ball and is quickly beset. Will get another ball up, and that is the 50-metre line. You can vaguely see through all that mud there.
25 possessions for Matthew Cooper this afternoon, 10 and 15.
Said he spent years up, 5 years up in the hills, so he knows what mud's all about. Ball to centre wing now. Carslake, very quick player, leading in the chase for it. Hard to see out there. It is very dark. It doesn't appear so, of course, on your screen, but that's Howman. It is dark, let me assure you. Pity the poor workers who are going to have to take down all the fencing and that around the Unley Oval. They'll be doing it in the dark and in the cold and in the wet. The rain continues to pelt down. Cooper has another possession. Possession number 26 to half forward. Chambers picks up the ball, goes to run off. No sense of what was behind him, and surely, well, that looked like holding the ball. Ball back to centre wing. Weatherall with the mark. Plays on off the left foot, just gets the kick in. Is dumped into the ground behind play. Umpire penalises Clements. The kick will go downfield as they just seek to give each other a bit of warmth by hugging tight in there.
I reckon they could come up here.
Yeah, it's certainly a bit tight, and Bartamucci giving a couple of little short ones in there on Sheedy as well. And Bartamucci's going to go into the book.
The jumper punch, and Bartamucci's been recorded. Umpire there, Chris Carey coming in, and Jade Sheedy, the alleged victim in that particular incident. We might get another look at it, but as you will see,
jumper punch, will it?
It was the fistful of jumpers, and that was the free kick that has started all the bit of to-do. And just watch as the... No, we caught the end of it there, but there's a right cross as well. Maybe that made a connection. Umpire Carey saw it.
Watching that, goodness me.
I think you've actually got to hit someone to get reported for striking, don't you?
You'd be charged with attempted striking, I guess.
Well, it'd be interesting to see what actually went into the book.
Believe me, this is SANFL footy, this is local footy, and I don't think anything will come of a report of that nature in this particular competition. As Richardson puts through his third of the afternoon. He was aided there by a 25-metre penalty, and the Double Blues will walk off satisfied from the Unley Oval this afternoon. They will win this match, no doubt about that.
Norwood don't want to let this slip out to a 6 or 7 goal victory, because they've been tight and they've played well during the day. Obviously a little bit short in numbers, and they've lost a couple of pretty important players in Massey and Hill, which hurt them early, but they don't want to let this slip too much further.
Sturt have dominated possessions this quarter, 70-38.
32 points the difference.
Got the longest quarter of the day.
Absolutely.
Probably because of that stretcher, you'd think, Neil.
Ball up. Oliver down. Oh, surely a free kick, Lewis. Kicked out of there, looked like Bratton. Tumbling ball. Carslake couldn't hold on to possession. Back in again. Howman just takes it to ground. Umpire calls Carey.
Sturt have had a pretty good run with the umpires this quarter, I'd say. That Norwood have been unlucky not to get 3 or 4 that they haven't seen. That's not coming from a Norwood player, even though it is coming from a Norwood player, if you know what I mean.
Well, there's a free kick.
What's going on? The free kick to Norwood. You've got to be joking.
23s to Norwood.
Bartamucci. He boots it long. Well done by Smith, who stood tall in that back line for the Double Blues. Boundary throw in. Ben, enlighten me about that obvious bias toward Sturt and the umpiring.
Absolutely, I mean, no. Come on, Michael.
Boundary throw in. In goes Cooper. Siren all over at Unley Oval. Did that last kick count? We'll just wait on it. I don't think it did. Scores remain the same. It might have been Bartamucci on his right boot. It was a goal too. And just missed the siren. So a good win to the Double Blues at Unley Oval. 13-8-86. Have beaten Norwood 7-12-54.
32-point victory to Sturt, a solid victory. It was tough. These conditions are never going to make for pretty football. Both teams had a real crack at it today for 3 quarters. Unfortunately, Norwood couldn't go with Sturt in that last quarter, and Sturt, being the team that they are this year, they're really pushing for a top 2 finish now. They've cemented that 3rd spot at least for the double chance, and look, it was a great victory. They'd be very happy to come out with a 5-goal victory here over Norwood in pretty trying conditions.
There's no doubt they'd be very happy to escape with, a bruised back or that region for Daniel Pearce.
And hopefully that is all it is, and yeah.
Not adding to their injury list as much as anything else. Important to the Double Blues is no doubt they build towards a finals appearance. And look, one of their better players this afternoon is with Mark Soderstrom, and that was Stephen White, who kicked 3 goals before half-time. They were few and far between after that, though, weren't they?
Thanks, Neil. Steve-O, get in here. Mate, a terrible day for a big man, but 3 goals was a good return.
Yeah, it's all right to get a kick for a change, Mark, yes.
And in the second term, on the right foot, the snap at goal, there must be a lot of confidence in your newfound skills.
Nah, practice them a bit, but I don't know.
3rd spot looks like it's sewn up.
Yeah, we aim for that, yeah, so hopefully we've sewn it up now.
Steve, I'm going to let you go before you talk me to death. See you later.
Thanks, mate.
Stephen White, a man of few words, but no doubt enjoys the game. There's no doubt about that. He's kicked 3 goals this afternoon, and he'd be very happy as he goes into the huddle. And I think probably the boys were ribbing him then about how little he would have said to us.
Poor Sodas. I feel sorry for Sodas.
No, Sodas could talk the leg off a chair, let's face it, so he would more than make up for it as the Double Blues just taking their time coming off before the Unley faithful. And there's no doubt there's a real sense of satisfaction when you win a game like that in really difficult conditions in front of your home crowd. And no doubt you're very tired, but also appreciative of the effort that you've made.
Yeah, sure. A real sense of belief in themselves, and obviously this crowd here is happy with the effort they put in today. So Sturt go now, next few games, looking to, like we said, really build up that run towards finals football. They'll be happy to get through unscathed, like Neil said. And it's really important that they do in the next couple of weeks, keep marching on.
Just look at that quarter by quarter. The margins there were 23 points at quarter time, half time, and then 21 at 3/4 time. They won by 32 points. They are the hottest team in terms of winning in the SANFL at the moment. They've now won 6 straight, Sturt. And a look through those goal kickers. 86 plays 54. Stephen White with 3, as I said, all in the first half. Josh Richardson, I think he might have collected, he collected 2 of his 3 in the second half. And then the multiple goal kicker, Tim Hazel, up forward for the Redlegs, and the rest of them were all singles. And I guess that's their problem. They couldn't find a constant forward target. And they were unlucky in that Andrew Hill spent a lot of the day on the interchange.
That's exactly right. Andrew Hill had 3 shots in that first quarter, and they were unlucky with that. We just look at the match stats there. Naturally, Sturt, a lot more handball. Norwood ended up with more kicks, as we said. The inside 50s reasonably even, and maybe that's a little bit, something we wouldn't have so much expected. The song down in the club rooms there, the Sturt, have a listen.
Well, a few smiles in the rooms, as you'd expect. Of course, the Double Blues will be pretty happy with that result. And the weather just closes in a little more for us this afternoon. It'll be an interesting walk to the car for you.
For me?
Yes.
Thanks, Neil.
Yeah,
Where'd you park?
No, well, in my front yard, because I don't live too far away. I'm lucky. But as we see, just the weather closing in at Unley. And as I mentioned, Sturt's in the next few matches, they have Woodville West Torrens next week at the Adelaide Oval. We're covering that match, and then Unley for the matches against Central and North Adelaide. So 2 more matches here this afternoon, in the next few weeks at least. So does down in the rooms with the Sturt coach Brenton Phillips.
Thanks, Neil. Sticko, bit of a dog of a day, but a good result.
Yeah, no, it's the conditions are pretty hard to get your legs through, and I thought we'd run out the game pretty well in the end.
Long injury list at the moment, so he did well to get out with the win, but also gives a lot of the younger guys an opportunity, like Adrian Burton.
Yeah, and also you throw in Adam Thompson and Daniel Pearce with that. So the mix is quite good at the moment. I'm really excited about what's coming through the club.
The next 3 weeks very important to give you a gauge of where you're at with Central, the Eagles, and also North Adelaide.
Yeah, look, 6 weeks ago we set ourselves a 6-week block that we wanted to win all 6 of them, and we've achieved that. So now we'll re-look at it during the week, and we'll have a crack at it. I think probably another 1 to 2 wins will probably secure the double chance. So that's what we're after.
Brenton, well done today. We look forward to seeing you next week against the Eagles.
Thanks, Mark.
Mark Soderstrom down there in the rooms with Brenton Phillips, and as he said, they set themselves to win 6 in a row. They've done that, and they've got the Eagles next week at the Adelaide Oval. Big test and a confidence test in the lead up to the finals.
It'll be a great game, and like you said, we're broadcasting that game, so one to really look forward to.
Stephen White, well, he's been impressive this afternoon, hasn't he? We've already heard very briefly from Stephen White, but he leads the highlights. This was early in the game, and Sturt, when it was a little bit drier, Stephen White was important for them up forward.
He was. Stephen Daniels and Stephen White had a pretty good battle all day. White was on top early, and maybe Daniels, got a bit closer and came back and played a bit better in the second half when it was, like you said, they were a bit wetter and a lot harder for a key forward. But Stephen White, those couple of early goals were important, gave Sturt the lead in that first quarter. And then, as we see the other end of the ground, going down there, it's a lot boggier. Stephen White managed to sneak this one back right on the boundary. Fantastic skills.
As he said, he's been practising a bit, but I think still newfound skills for Stephen White.
I haven't seen that too often from the from the big man.
And this was just a little bit too easy from Norwood. Through the middle of the ground, Sturt able to create a bit of run, especially early on.
Yeah, they did, and that's what hurt Norwood. I mean, Norwood did the same on the way back, but couldn't get enough of the football and the clearance. The way they cleared the football was just inaccurate and a bit ambitious at times as well.
Bartamucci doing particularly well here, dropped the mark, but then able to get the hand pass back to Andrew Hill, who missed a couple of easy goals. At that stage, had a goal and out on the full and a point to his name, and not long after that, he took a rest on the bench with an injury.
It would have been much tighter on the scoreboard, certainly, if Norwood had made the most of their opportunities early in the game, and perhaps things could have been different, but we did see that Andrew Hill grabbing a seat and Chris Massey, who we haven't shown in this package, but also off within that first quarter, it was very costly for Norwood.
Norwood, the most inaccurate team in the SANFL. They actually, before this game, had 153 goals, 155 behinds. They kicked 7-12 this afternoon, so they're in keeping with their tradition, and only 49% of their opportunities are converted.
Yeah, it's a costly, another costly stat for Norwood. They're getting a lot of the football, like we've said all day. They are getting the hold of it. They're using it, the kick quite well, but it's when they're going forward, they're often, like I said, being inaccurate and wasteful with their opportunities, and then obviously on goal as well, not having a key forward. And Robbie Neal being their only leading goal kicker, with I think he's in the 20s with his number of goals he kicked, certainly nothing huge. And today, like we saw, Robbie Neal had to play back. So they're looking for someone up forward, they're looking to kick some goals, but at the moment there's just no one actually putting their hands up. And Gary McIntosh has struggled to find a key forward all year.
Robbie Neal's kicked 23 for the season, so 23-18 in fact. So yeah, he went back today, which was quite interesting. We've seen Sturt Bound in the back line as well. He went forward today, but this was late in the game, and Borlase kicked this goal. And by the way, he was good this afternoon. They were some chance.
Oh, they certainly were. They had it, you know, a bit of wind in the sails and were coming home strongly. And unfortunately, it didn't turn into the close game that we thought maybe it would have in the last quarter. Sturt came back and kicked a good couple of strong goals, and that's, as we saw there, finished off nicely.
Yes, well, the round isn't over, and of course tomorrow a couple of important games. Glenelg against the Eagles. The Eagles have beaten Glenelg on the last 12 occasions they've met. North against West. The importance here is that West Adelaide, if they can beat North, can actually regain a place in the 5. And of course North can also look for that double chance. Next week we've got Sturt against the Eagles at the Adelaide Oval. And that should be another interesting contest. As we mentioned, a bit of a confidence for either side going into the finals. Port against North, and that will be an interesting match as well. West against South, Central against Glenelg. A big victory, though, this afternoon for Sturt. And we look forward to the 1978 Grand Final. And for all you Norwood fans, it was a 1-point victory. And the commentary comes from Ian Aitken and Ian Day. Here are the highlights.
Towards the big white stick. What's the result? Goal, the first one on the board to Sturt. From the leg to Robert Barton.
Seeks Leonard again. The running Graham loose. Graham goes goalward. He's steadied. His shot at goal is true. Michael Graham's first goal and Sturt second. Looking for the backup of Barton. He flips it over to Bagshaw. In comes Barton again. Nicholson there. Back to Bagshaw. It's a goal. A great goal to the Sturt captain, and goal number 4 to the Double Blues.
Normally a magnificent kick. There's the kick underway. As the siren sounds, as Gallagher put on the first. Oh, yes.
Win again in the Davies, but it's Sturt's down to Nigel Walk. And turned to Barton. The loose one's to Woodcock. The left legger lines it up. Puts it on its way. His first goal goes on the board. That's the second one for Norwood, and a fine opening in the second term for the legs.
Searches back for Woodcock. Undecided what to do. Chances his arm. Puts it in towards goal. Casey getting back desperately. Won't make it. Goal Woodcock. His second. Chance now for Adamson. Which way will the bounce go? Picks it up well. Dummies. Shoots in towards goal. I think he's got it. Great personal effort by Adamson. His second goal.
Adler possession. Back to Finneman. Now Turnbull. In turn Adamson. He's running into an open goal. He converts without any problems whatsoever. Feeds it over to Heinrich, and turn Klomp, and Klomp drives deep towards the goal square. Curley's back there, drops what he should have taken, and Winter scoops on the ball, blasts his boot, second goal, and a handy one for Sturt.
Seeding round. Oh, sets up Hargraves. Chance for Norwood through Turnbull to Adamson. He's got 3, heads for the open goal, and I think he's got number 4. Oh, Sturt defence made a mistake.
Davies out-manoeuvres. Barton gives it to Barton, and a timely goal. A magnificent goal to the Sturt rover. Philip Heinrich of Sturt. Looking for help, can't get it. Doubles back, has a shot at goals. It could be number 3. A magnificent goal from Philip Heinrich of Sturt. A magnificent reply for his 3rd goal. Looking for help, can't get it. He's got around, can't get through, however. Hits it over to Turnbull, and Turnbull runs into an open goal. Number 1 goes on the board to the Norwood Rover, and goal number 13 for the Redlegs.
They settle. The big leap. Hargraves taken away by Wynn. Left towards goal, and the Redlegs are in front. 2-8 has got his first goal, and the Redlegs have hit the front in the 78 final. The Downs it is. Downs smothered off the boot. Winter slips it over to Burger into the open goal, and Sturt got the lead back again. Magnificent goal to the Blues. Second, and Sturt have hit the front by 3 points. Over the top comes Gallagher, left towards goal. Casey gets his kick away, almost by top, Gallagher coming through Turnbull, but Washington's got a free kick for Gallagher. Oh, what a time to get a free kick.